Yeah.
1 minute.
Revelation.
I need 1 minute. Hello. FX. Now take a minute, please.
104.7 FM.
Boom.
Yeah. Revelation.
Trinidad and Tobago, good morning, good morning. It is Monday the 28th of January. We're live and inside 104.7. Good morning to all of those listening to us, to those of you following us on social media. You've seen a different view this morning because I had to be using the iPad this morning because the B-Mobile phone cut for the 19th time in 2 months. So I think I had to write a letter to find out if this is political victimization and mischief. That's the truth. I'm joined in station this morning by two of the usual suspects. Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, the man himself, the slack, anyway. Anthony Defoe. Anthony Defoe, you're slack. You're slack.
Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. How was everyone this morning? I hope everyone had a great weekend. I mean, under the conditions we live in, I mean, I don't know how great it really could be, but you know, nevertheless, I know we try to make do as best as we can for ourselves and families.
We are also joined in studio by PRO Janice Lemon Cricky, who is busy running cables like Flo. So, and take your free hand, Flo. Take your free hand.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. As you know, jack of all trades.
Master of none.
As Chief Whip there.
Chief Whip. Listen, Janice called me last night. They said, Philip, what are we talking about this week, boy? So many things changing. So many things going on. We're hearing aircraft carriers manned and on their way to the Caribbean Sea. What are we talking about? And we still can't deal with distraction. We have to talk about the state of this nation. This morning, we have to talk about the woman in Balandra who waited for 1.5 hours.
Boy, watch me. That real upset me, that live you do last night, you know. Absolutely upset me.
They call me. Trinidadians are calling us now because they have nobody else to call. I remember when the People's Partnership was in office.
But before you go there, explain to the people what happened last night.
Well, we're going to talk that now, but I want to build up to that. I want to say this. When the People's Partnership was in office, the Lorraine Pouchette was the head of the NCC. And Lorraine Pouchette called me to tell me, Philip, we have a patient in St. James Medical Center, what we used to call the St. James Infirmary. And 2 hours now we're waiting on ambulance transport to get this person to Mount Hope. And we can't get one.
2 hours.
2 hours. So I had to pick up the phone and dial Fuad Khan. Fuad Khan and me, we're not the best of friends. So for me to make that call is because it's a life and a death situation. And I explained to Fuad, I said, listen, this is a member of your government and she's suffering right now to get somebody. So he put me on to the CEO of the Northwest Regional Health Authority. And I called that guy. I can't remember his name right now. Fella, the East Indian name. And the fella sent the ambulance that they would have reserved and on standby for if the Prime Minister falls sick. Because you have to have resources for in case the head of this country, and he sent that for her. And what I still don't understand about public health, because you know and Trinidad know, I ended up in court with the ambulance provision company in Trinidad Tobago. We had to agree to let it go. Both sides walk away, right? And that's the reality of our situation. Our situation is, and I had to turn this off because like I got it reconnected. We'll see how long it lasts. The truth of the matter is, and I don't want to dwell on one issue, because in response to that, I want to read what somebody wrote me as a response to that ambulance matter, because her brother, who is getting dialysis, every time he gets dialysis, he's getting infection with fever and all the things that come with it, because they don't know if they're using sterilized equipment, needles, etc. Now, this is a nothing conversation unless it's a family member. Unless it's somebody you love, bleeding out, or breathing out, you don't care. That's Trinidad. We like, everything is the movies. I remember when Marshall saying, this is not a movie. I said, nah, Marshall, you lie. Trinidad and Tobago, it's not a movie. It's not a real country. There's a Hollywood set. This is not a real country. Play one on TV. This is not a real country. And all of us in Trinidad and Tobago, we live like, as long as it happening to somebody else, it don't matter. It's not real. These same people, when the wolf reached their door, we use the analogy of the wolf reached their door because you don't understand the fear. You don't understand the anxiety. You don't understand the panic until you holding your choking child. And you don't know what to do. Your child is choking to death. It's turning blue. And the person who answering the phone can't help you. Because they're not trained to help you.
Yeah. And that's supposed to be an emergency service number. Listen up, man. I really get upset watching that live last night. Serious, you know, man.
I was out with my family yesterday and a guy called me. He's a member of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And he called to tell me, Mr. Philip, we have a problem. I'm having a problem. I said, what's your problem? He said, I have a member here in my family and the situation grave. She can't breathe. We called the ambulance. We called the ambulance an hour ago because I asked him to check his phone for the time he dialed. He was talking to me at 8:25 and he had called the ambulance service at 7:25. So I told him, okay, you're going to tell your story to Trinidad and Tobago. That's why I went live. That's why I went live, to let him have an opportunity to tell the whole country that story.
And not only that, for the whole country to actually see our system at work presently, in its present state.
By 9:07, the ambulance had not yet arrived.
Still didn't reach.
The call center operator who took his call said to him, in a tone that is now in that video for everybody to hear, we don't have ambulance in Balandra.
Yeah.
Like,
That is our next part of our next
who
country, boy.
it's worse than that. Who the hell is Ole in Balandra
Yeah.
to want ambulance? What do you feel Ole is? Ole is somebody? All your job is to eat KFC and walk and dead. Pay your tax, pay your fines, walk and dead.
Philip,
PNM and UNC telling people in this country they care about them. You find that care for me. You find it.
I listened to Rowley talk some pack or something. I don't know, it's some conference they had at Napa or something like that, and the man talking about 60-something years, and we are now choosing to bring some level of change. What were you doing for 60-something years?
Kid Rowley have to explain to the nation what took place with AV oil. Kid Rowley have to explain to the nation how does the PNM benefit from lawlessness that turns the pavement on Stanmore Avenue into a parking lot for the PNM, for Balize House. Kid Rowley has to explain to the nation his dictatorial tendencies, the fact that he signed parliamentary documents every year that said, to the best of my knowledge, the above is true. He said he had 2 children when he knew he had 4. He knew he had 4. Now my problem is not how much children you had, you know.
Right.
You know me.
Right.
I haven't children anyway.
Right.
My problem is not that. My problem is that you would lie on your children. You would lie on something as important as your children.
That heavy, yeah?
That stink.
That real heavy.
No, that stink. Stink and dirty.
Yeah.
You would lie. And you know what's even worse? For that to be hidden. I remember an argument I had on Facebook with Colm Imbert and Dane Wilson. Dane Wilson at the time was the youth officer that they fired to put 67-year-old Fitzgerald Hines as youth officer, which is a joke by itself. But I was having an argument with Dane Wilson and Colm Imbert, and Colm Imbert said, so what happened? This was before Rowley admitted Garth Noel was his child. Because I was telling the nation, I said, Keith Rowley's a liar. And you have to know, if I am a stink and dirty liar, expose me. Yeah. If I want to be your prime minister, I have to be a man that champions integrity.
Right.
You have to be able to trust me. Words like ethics and morality must matter to me. Yeah. Colm Imbert had said, so what if Rowley have an extra child? And Dane Wilson, who positioned himself as being the closest to Rowley at the time, said, you know Rowley have more children. Now, my point to you is this morning. You are a member of parliament. You hold a seat where the laws of the land are written. The highest court in the land is the parliament. You sit in the parliament and you lie to the nation about your children. And if that wasn't grotesque and reprehensible enough, for that secret to have remained a secret for 31 years, you had to convince your two sons to lie about who their father is. You had to convince your two children to deny who their father is.
Well, yeah, it's that heavy.
To protect you and your work partner.
Yeah.
Watch me. I have two children. And they have no work, no position, no nothing you could offer me more important than them. Nothing.
Yeah.
I walk away this morning in mid-sentence. My family, my children more important than anything. You understand that?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Janice,
Yes.
you're a mother. I don't understand.
No, I'm trying to say I can hear myself through the speakers.
You jumped in like, oh God.
She get catch.
She get catch.
So I see a bumper sticker last night driving up from south. And I swear I had to pull over to laugh, you know. The man had on the bumper sticker, Jesus is coming. Everybody look busy. Everybody look busy. You know. Yeah, can Jesus reach? What are you doing? Yeah? The state of this nation. In the United States of America, they have a annual joint sitting of both houses of government. You hearing yourself through your mic?
No, I hear myself, yes.
Nice. They have a joint sitting of both houses, and the President of the United States is summoned. They make it look like he is doing this, but it is a constitutional requirement that the President of the United States come and account to the Congress and the Senate as to the State of the Union. And for all the pomp and circumstance surrounding it, if you lie in that address, I mean, it become a thing that is broadcast to the world now, and that's cool. But it has to be true. Because if he could be fired immediately. He'll be fired immediately. You cannot lie to both houses of government in the United States of America and continue on as president. You are literally accounting to the people's representatives. You understand how that works?
Right.
You are the president, but the people's representatives who oversee the operation of government in Congress and the Senate, you are summoned to account to the people. And if you lie in those circumstances, to be fired immediately. We have no such circumstance or situation in this country. Government can do what the hell they want. We call this the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land. Because you could.
That's true, eh?
Because you could. You could. Keith Rowley said on TTT, my government, listen to the madness that's come out of this man's mouth. My government will not be swayed by external or internal forces. And I want to say to this clown, internal forces pay your salary.
Oh, yeah.
You answer to internal forces. We call the shots. He doesn't get that. He and the UNC end up in some quarrel and talking about the UNC, this is what he's saying, the UNC acknowledge our next president in Venezuela, but the PNM will not be drawn into that. And I want to tell these two mocking pretenders, Keith and Kamala, this is not PNM and UNC. This is government and opposition. You're out of context. This is not politics.
And I like what you had said, how we support as a political organization.
We support the people. That's who we, but all of a sudden.
Yes, brother.
All of a sudden, you know who agreed with that? CARICOM.
Yeah.
CARICOM agreed.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because it's this
The Progressive Empowerment Party told the region, that's what we're supposed to do. I read a post about an 18-year-old girl who's some businessman who have girls, and she was conned into coming across to work as a waitress. The people desperate, Tony. They're desperate.
Yeah.
Trinidadians, I believe God does give you a life for a reason. You know, they say this to set you and prepare you for a season.
Yeah.
And I went through some things in my life, including homeless. And I know what it is like. I had nothing. I had to literally start life over, and I know what it was like. And I want to tell you something, eh? There are few things you will experience in this life that will scar your memory, like hunger for 3 days or more. When you're on your third day of, you might remember a joke, a fella stop home and he tell her, I haven't eaten for 24 hours. She said, you have such good willpower, I'm fighting with this diet.
Oh my goodness.
No, but, you know, and I just trying to say, you know, you could jump in at any time, you know, bro. I just trying to say that when you look at the circumstances that people endure in Venezuela, we are their closest neighbor.
Yeah.
Besides who border them,
Yeah,
like
Colombia.
Guyana and who else?
Colombia, because a lot of them went across to Colombia.
But we are a close neighbor, and we're supposed to live in a world where neighbor things don't tight.
Yeah.
You don't say, send your girl children over here, let me prostitute them. Send your children, let me enslave them, and give them a under the table half price and feed them.
Yeah.
And tell them if you don't like it, you're fired.
I don't
Let me do operate where, alright, hear what? You are the government, only have some gas there that we need. So let we enter into a secret deal. Because that's what we did. Trinidad and Tobago had a hell of a time at the funeral. We danced on the grave. Literally, we have video of Stuart Young and Kid Rowley conga lining with Maduro. We went to do a deal for the, what's the name of the gas deal? Phoenix? No, Dragonfield.
Yeah.
The Dragonfield gas deal.
Yeah.
The Dragonfield gas deal was Trinidad and Tobago conspiring with Maduro to loot Venezuela. That is what that is. Because Shell, who we tried to pull in that madness, get warned by their government that you cannot deal with Venezuela because we are protecting the assets of the people. And for all of these CIA conspiracy theorists outside there talking the nonsense on Facebook, Venezuela has been, the people of Venezuela have been begging America to intervene.
Yeah.
And it's only because Russia and China reach. Because Russia and China pull up, people talking about America only gone there for oil. I am not defending America. That's not the purpose of this. But if America only gone there for oil, what Russia and China gone for? What they going for?
Exactly.
What China in Venezuela for?
Exactly.
China come here to thief with Pitch Lake, gone Pakistan and all these countries in Africa, ruining nations. China using economic might
That's right.
and third world dictators
That's right.
to loot countries and expand empires.
Correct.
What is Russia doing in Venezuela?
But Russia is creating the same environment for themselves as well. That is why they chummy with Venezuela right now.
All of them want to tell you, Venezuela have oil.
Yeah.
Venezuela have oil. Rwanda and Somalia have natural resources too. Them want America to come too. The truth of the matter is, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It can't be that you're going to get blamed for the actions of every other president before. I'm not Trump's greatest defender. But I want to tell you something. The man in this instance, damn right. I don't know if I want to go about it recognizing another president. But from what the people of Venezuela saying, is that Maduro is the illegitimate president.
Yeah.
That he declared himself president and ignored the tenets of their constitution. Now, I don't know. I am not on the ground. So like you, I listening to all sides. When this fellow Guaido, how is pronounced his name? When he declared himself president, it was because the United States of America said, we will defend you. Because Maduro is using the army against the people.
Yeah.
That is the textbook definition of dictatorship and illegitimate government.
Yeah.
The people of Venezuela have been begging for help. They're marching by the million. They said 10,000 people.
Yeah.
When you watch more people marching in Venezuela than we have people marching,
As a nation, yeah.
and they're dying for it.
Correct.
And we sitting here so close to our house catching fire. And we sitting here talking like, oh, you can do something different. What can you do different if your government is willing to open fire on you for protesting? Would you come outside? We can't get Trinidadians to protest. No, when they have no threat of bullets.
Yeah.
You could imagine if the army lock and load.
What's everybody lock up in the house, you know?
Partner, I had to paint the house, wash the cat, I had to change my oil.
Your phone only ringing.
The number you have reached is not in service. No, but that's the truth.
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
When millions of people say we have to march, should we? When the government tell the French people they will shoot them, is more French people come out. In Trinidad, in Trinidad we ask backwards. We don't know that we're supposed to. But Tony, when you're this close to your house catching fire from the conflagration going on in the neighborhood, the last thing you're supposed to be doing is playing pompous.
Yeah.
You're supposed to tell the people of Venezuela, because this is what the Progressive Empowerment Party said. We stand with you.
Yeah.
What you want for you, we want that for you.
Correct.
And any intervention. And if the United States wanted oil, and if the United States wanted Venezuela for oil, Bush would have go in there. Bush Jr., Obama, these fellas wasn't playing. Obama dropped more bombs than any president in the United States history, you know. Come out, I tell you, if it's one thing communication and PR good for. When Bush was fighting this guy who was married to Hines. No. He married into the Hines. Kerry. Is Kerry went up against Bush?
John Kerry,
Yeah.
I believe so.
John Kerry, who was a war hero, was castigated in the media for some swift boat thing. And George Bush Jr., who ran away and joined the National Guard to escape service, he gets, take this call, he let him know that we on here. He gets to carry himself like a war hero.
Brilliant.
And the power of the ability of media and PR to take a lie and make it the truth, or take a truth and make it a lie, is astonishing.
But that's
Yeah.
what's going on right now with everything.
Very cool. Right?
That's what's going on. They're taking the truth and making it a lie. And
If America wanted Venezuela's oil, America would have gone in when it was Chavez, and they would have had a right. The people of Venezuela calling for them since then.
Correct.
America only respond now to the threat. China get bold. China get bold. China get bold in Trinidad. Kamala and Keith Rowley have sold Trinidad to the Chinese, and Trinidadians don't know what that means. We owe China billions of dollars for nonsense. Napa, Sapa, Tapa, Taruba, the Cuba Hospital, things that we could have done without.
That's
Well,
right.
not only that, China also lent money to Venezuela. Venezuela is owing them billions of dollars.
And that's what they do.
And that's why they
That's
are
what they do.
protecting their interests.
And aside from that, if we were not having the level of hemorrhaging that we were having, we would have been able to fund those projects ourselves.
Correct.
Tony, what Manning built was unessential. What Manning built in this country, even the waterfront project, even where the parliament is, everything, Hyatt, all of that, we didn't need that. We didn't need none of that.
But remember, he was building it because they were expecting, international companies to come and set up in those buildings. But then you had the crash, which meant that all of that fell apart.
What made Trinidad and Tobago capable of considering itself as a financial headquarters? What?
when our exchange is 7-1 almost.
What made us capable of thinking that?
Tell me this thing. We can't manage the whole damn economy. we can't even raise the value of our own dollar 56 years and go in. Eh? But you want to say that you're a financial leader in the Caribbean. You see me mad? You see something wrong with these people? Eh? I mean, really, what part of this country we could really say that we are economically successful on any level? Maybe if you want to talk the 1%ers, but or the corporate class, but we know how they are making the money on the ground here in Trinidad, and that is where the hemorrhaging is going. So my point is, where's the organic growth of our country, our GDP, our systems on the ground as far as development is concerned, and generating a greater form of income? We have a priceless equity of resources where intellect is concerned, where artistry is concerned, among many, many fields.
Correct. I don't know, it's just, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you wonder, what's the use?
Well,
Because there's nothing seems to work, we're not getting to go where we want to go, and now you have this threat of possible sanctions, stroke war, between the US and the...
so you're telling me a man who's calling himself a doctor, that have a doctorate in front of his name, supposed to have some semblance of common sense, could not premeditate or anticipate a move like that taking place dealing with Venezuela? Was that gas deal so important that it had, number one, like Philip said, under the table deal? We don't know to this day any details as to that particular deal between Trinidad and Venezuela.
Yeah, but someone's saying this morning that the deal was never signed.
Yeah, but the point
So
is,
then
there was
they did it worse.
there was things in the works. Is the point? There were things in the works, so they already knew what the agenda was, what the goal was in that entire dynamics of things. But aside from that, the point is, we are talking 56 years of stagnant. We're stagnant. We're like in limbo as a nation. We're not moving forward as the rest of the world is moving forward.
That's correct.
On any and every level. You know what I mean? I had somebody, anyway, look, Trinidad and Tobago, boy, we are regular people, you know, man. Regular citizens of this soil. Some of us were here all of our lives. Some of us traveled outside, saw different cultures and so on, and we are back here on the ground. The point is that we have to know where we want to go as a nation, as a people, and what our true benefits are. We have to know what our rights are. We cannot do this anymore.
The truth of the matter is, and what faces this nation this morning, is a misunderstanding of the role of the citizens in the Republic. Because if Trinidadians took their role as citizens in this democracy seriously, we would be at a different place.
Correct.
I watched a man last night on that live video say, what I'm waiting to see in this whole video is members of the PEP go and pick up the woman who was waiting on the ambulance with all your car and take you to the hospital.
Right.
Yeah. It becomes politics. It's the same way that the Prime Minister was able to say that this is a PNM UNC thing. We have no understanding as to the difference between politics and governance. And that's our biggest problem.
That's right.
Because we always engaging in politics. All of this bacchanal that takes place in the parliament, none of it is governance. None of it is taking care of the needs of the people. None of it. All of it is empty rhetoric. The same Keith Rowley that fooling the nation about we don't care about what America had to say is the same Keith Rowley whose Attorney General ran to the Parliament with 2 pieces of legislation to become compliant with America or we starve.
Yeah.
And Trinidadians need to know this. Because Faris Al-Rawi said it will destroy our economy. Colm Imbut said we need this law, it will destroy our economy. If you're dealing with a country who could destroy your economy over a law, you want to step between them and what they consider is their right and role in the region? but you was a madman.
You know what I think is the problem, Philip? I think we really and truly forget that we are just a tiny little dot in the ocean. I mean, for those of us who have traveled, we tend to come back to Trinidad and think that we are a country like the US and England and Europe. But we are just a tiny, tiny dot. And we need to know, try and remember that. Because we will be squashed by the bigger countries.
Janice, I had to ask people this morning. I said, listen, America, China, Russia are big players in the world. And at some point, the whole world is going to end up aligned. You can't exist in the world not aligned to one of those big players.
Correct.
So pick who you're aligning with. And when in doubt, just ask yourself, if I had to live in America, Russia, or China, which one I would choose?
I like it that, you know. I like that too.
Which one would I choose?
I like that too,
Choosing
man.
America.
Eh? Especially
You know,
we
I
as
wanna live in
what's
those
fair?
communist countries.
All these people who talking, you think they want to live in a country where the government decide what you could wear?
Yeah.
What you could wear?
Yes.
What you could wear?
Yeah.
All the freedoms that we currently enjoy, we won't be able to
Exactly.
We are on 104.7 right now today on Monday live, and we will be opening the phone lines shortly to get you to engage in conversation. But right now we're discussing the state of this nation, and we need to, this is important. The people of this country, the issues that's supposed to matter to us is why we don't have water in our taps 24/7.
Yeah.
Don't give me you in Napa and she wherever she had her own. All that stunting. Now is not the time for political bullshit. Let's talk real. 56 years. $3 trillion. Our public health is a mess. Our education is a mess. Our roads are a mess. Public transportation is a mess. We cannot feed ourselves. We have no water. Every time it rains, it's flood the nation. What are we spending that money on?
Question.
What are we spending the money on? What are we spending the money on?
Ask it. Ask the question. That's what we are supposed to do as a nation.
When your ex-minister of national security admit, when the attorney general said 2 years ago that the prime minister and the minister of national security always knew securing the borders was the solution. And your air secure the borders yet.
Yes.
Janice just said it's a 2x4 country. You could drive wrong it in a pirogue.
Correct.
You could drive wrong this country in a pirogue.
The other day, weekend, when I drive around it, I literally drove around Trinidad. Yeah. Went over the Dongmea Romance and then come up, meet Arima, take that North Coast over to Blanchisseuse, take the North Coast road, come down the road, went to Chaguaramas, come back down and head down south. I made a complete circle around Trinidad.
Wow.
In less than, it took me, I would say, approximately that entire run, give or take a little traffic, I would say 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
I would have thought so.
Yeah. There was traffic on the road.
What is it?
But a helicopter is flying over Trinidad in 5 minutes. So tell me, this as a country, how could politics trump governance? How is it that UNC supporters and PNM supporters still think that they could have a conversation about who thief less and who less worse, instead of talking about why we don't have a proper ambulance service, why we don't have proper public health, why we don't have proper roads, why we don't have water in the taps, why we can't manage rainfall, why 3 months separated a deluge that drowned the island and warning from WASA to deal with your hose pipe. Come on, man. Come on. You're coming home from work and you're meeting different men in your house and your wife telling you all of them is she cousin.
Hey! It's too early, brother.
No. I know it fall in your garden.
My God, partner.
And they have a song, if Janice could only operate on YouTube. They have a calypso. Take a piece of paper and write down all your men family name for me. Because that's the country we living in. Every day. You're coming home every day and a different man in your house. That's my cousin. That's my cousin. And you're asking no questions. We living like that in this country. We living like that, Tony. We living like that. The opposition leader, the government who considers, the prime minister who considers himself the leader of the PNM first. Considers himself the leader of the PNM first. If these people cared, if they cared a damn about the people of this country, if you do a midterm report of this PNM, they fail.
Well, they failed before the midterm.
Because in 3 years, you could have decentralized water to the 5 regions, north, east, central, south, Tobago. You could have started so that the whole country don't collapse every time you have to shut down this Alcott. Or if you have a problem with a transmission main. This country, one transmission main break between Diego Martin and Caroni and everybody sucking salt, you know. And it is insane that we transmit water from Caroni to Diego Martin and back. Because you don't need to. Right. Diego Martin could source its own water. Toko Manzanilla could source its own water. Caroni could source its own water. Tobago East and West could source their own water. Every one of the 41 constituencies. There is something sold in the world now called water makers. When you go at sea in a boat and a yacht for months, where do you think you're getting your water from? It's solar powered or tidal when you're driving, it running the thing, generating electricity, and it taking seawater and making fresh water. It's taking seawater and making fresh water constantly. You don't have to worry about that. We could create in this country micromanagement facilities that sources, holds, treats and distributes water within the constituency. Diego Martin, besides the fact that it has one of the largest reservoirs, one of the largest underground reservoirs, aquifers in Chagaramas, some of the purest water in the Caribbean. Diego Martin gets 10 times the water it needs as rain. And I was talking to the chairman of the party on Saturday. While the country, was it Saturday or Sunday? Monday, Friday. I can't remember which day, it's like a blur. The country was under a deluge of rain. Under a deluge of rain. They're starting to call from now. Under a deluge of rain. And ironically, also was under a threat that you could get fined if you're standing up outside in falling rain and turn on your hose. And that is madness.
That is madness.
It is a level of madness that is difficult to comprehend.
That is madness.
You really have to wonder, you know.
Just water management. Just water management. The same water that flooding us, hold it.
Yeah.
Correct.
Just catch it.
Simple thing. Clean
Hold it.
Just
Just hold it.
Yeah.
When you're distributing it, you process it. That's it.
Yeah.
In Singapore, they send boiling hot water through the tap that you could make a cup of coffee with from the reservoir.
Wow.
I mean, we have the ability in the world right now. When you go to space in the space shuttle or rocket, where people think you're getting water from? What you pee out today, drinking tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, but when you go to water treatment facilities, I was telling you all about the water treatment facility outside the pig farm. The man who runs the facility goes to a tap at the end of the facility and opens it, and out of the tap comes clean water and he drinks it. What was pig? I don't know what word to use. Raw sewage.
Yeah.
And he drinks what is purified, because reverse osmosis, if you understand what reverse osmosis is, it is the same way by which rain is made. It evaporates the water and then condenses the water and catches it somewhere else. So the water leaves everything else behind. You don't have to filter it, you don't have to treat it, you don't have to clean it. You evaporate it and recondense it and you get the water there.
Right.
And all of the other things you're left behind. There is this thing now in the States. No, it's England. I was watching this thing in England where they were treating with, they've created a place called Lamas, and they give you land in Lamas for agriculture rates, and you have 5 years, and within that 5 years you have to create and generate 75% of all your needs from this piece of land. What you're eating, what you're drinking, and a source of income, 75%. If you can't, you lose it.
Right.
And they show you their water management facilities, and what is left behind is used to fertilize their crops. You can't waste nothing.
Correct.
You can't waste nothing. We in this country behave as if water management is magic. That you need a magician, a wizard. We need Merlin.
Need a rocket scientist.
No, rocket science will do it. But they behave like we need Merlin and a staff. Hala, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Abracadabra. Water management in a country, forget desalination. Forget it. Forget it completely. Forget digging wells. Forget it completely. Forget tapping the aquifers. Forget that.
Rain out.
We get more water as rain
Yeah.
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 than we could ever use.
Yeah.
Well, you see, you have to think again why this has not been a solution for how many years? It's because it's business, that's right.
But Janice, if we continue to pretend that PNM UNC fighting politics is what is managing this country, and do not see the contract mafia, the money that they make in pipe and valve, you get the contract to supply Wassa with pipe, brother. Your family eating in London. All of a sudden, people who knuckles was dragging in the mud, the children belly swell, first they're hungry, they bouncing check all over the place and avoiding courts. All of a sudden, there's billionaires. Because they get a contract. The contract mafia in this country is set up for one purpose, to operate those two political parties so that the people who make up the mafia could benefit fabulously. When you read their Facebook posts, their children are living their lives of royalty
Yeah, they're
on stolen money. When you use the word cost overrun and misappropriation of public funds, those are fancy ways of saying stolen public funds.
Yeah.
In a real world, if you are the contractor on my job site, as 10 contractors that I deal with, once we agree, any cost beyond that is for your account. If you mismanage the work that you are doing, you have to take everything into account. And if you go, there are civil engineering sites that you could visit that shows you how you could measure the value of the construction of 1,000 square foot building and ask you what type of material you want to use. And it tells you. It's a calculator. It's not a human being, it's a calculator. It tells you. There's the value of the steel, there's the value of the galvanized, the value of the concrete, there's the value of the bricks, there's the value, whatever. Doors, windows, door frames. And it tells you. This is, again, science. We've been doing this in the world. We built the pyramids. You can imagine if Trinidad had the pyramids. It wouldn't be a pyramid. We would have set out to build a pyramid. But we may not have ended up with a pyramid. And when you look at the precision of the pyramids, when you look at what they built, and they say that they build them with stone chisel, partner, in Trinidad, we'd have taken 1 million years.
It's still built today.
Cost overruns. It moved from HTC to UDCON. For a little while there, nobody could explain why Wassa had the contract. B-Mobile. And we laughing. They have a saying in Trinidad, think to cry all you're laughing. There's thing to cry about.
I know.
When you tell people that Manning, Kamala, Pandey, Rowley, just those 4, spent $1.2 trillion,
Right.
we could have bought the rest of the Caribbean. This could have been Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada and St. Kitts and Nevis and Dominica. This could have been we. The United States and the Caribbean. We could have buy all.
Yes.
Manning, Pandey, Kamala, Rowley spent $1.2 trillion. And if you think that was their right, fine. But show me what they spent it on.
Correct. We don't
I
have
could show you.
anything.
Drive up Goodwood Park here. I could show you. Drive through Fairways. You want to see where the money gone? Drive in Sinclair. And it's disgusting and it stink that the officers of state that are responsible to protect the people, the treasury, the country from that kind of madness, that and all corrupt. The state of this nation is corrupt. We are a corrupt nation. And what corrupt means, and we were talking before we came on here, in the days, in biblical law, salt is incorruptible. You could measure the corruptibility of something by its salt ratio. We in this country, we were a corrupt salt. We were a corrupt salt. We were a corrupt salt. That's no lie. Salt-
Trinidadians are very ingenious.
Salt was so important, so incorruptible. The word salary come from salt. Salt. And we would have spoiled that. This is a country that has nobody that you could call on and say, investigate this.
That's true.
I watched Kenneth Starr make Bill Clinton fat as president of the United States. What Mueller doing Trump?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's about accountability and transparency and answering to the people.
But when you give a man a job, and his job is to keep the office of president safe, he don't care who's the president. And once you put systems in place, New York City, when they realized that a lot of people was bribing police officers, when the commissioner of police under Rudy Giuliani, when Bill Pratt, was his name Pratton?
Pattern.
Him and Kerrick and them, when they were trying to clean up New York City, and the moneyed class and the mafia were bribing police officers, they put dashboard cams in the car. And the dashboard cams in the car was, when you stopped somebody, there was a way you had to stop the car, that if you didn't, you'd get charged. As a police officer, you'd get charged for conspiring to break the law. You have to park it this way so the dashboard cam could pick up you and everything that's going on in front of the car. Because the dashboard cam, you can't interfere with it, you know. You can't turn it on, you can't turn it off, and you can't access the hard drive. Only the sergeant at the end of your shift, only he could retrieve the information of what took place during your shift. So that they knew that they could supervise you by remote control. So no bribery. So it came to a point where all of a sudden you started to see celebrities and businessmen getting charged. And it coming out in the Inquirer, them sign up with the list of numbers. It's because you removed the police officer's ability to decide if to let them go or not. That if you stopped the mayor, and the mayor of New York City was stopped and found to be on drugs, and he was arrested, and he is the commissioner boss. But when you put systems in place, remember that, what was the mayor name, the black guy? That you need to silence all these phones. But you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
We have no systems in place that you could say when any of these, how Cold Heart was allowed to just leave Trinidad and Tobago.
Normal.
And nobody since Manning is accounting to the people of Trinidad and Tobago about the investigation into Cold Heart and Udicott. We had a commission of inquiry that said it was criminal. This sitting Prime Minister, Keith Rowley, told the nation in 2009 that he told the Prime Minister since 2003 that Cold Heart and Udicott was corrupt. Nothing. Johnny O'Halloran, nothing. Ishan Steve still. Brian, Airport 9, Airport 11, Airport 15. It's like movies. It's like 3 sequels. We spent $150 million on trying to prosecute them and couldn't. Get nothing back. Gutierrez and then make the jail in Miami and pay fine and put back money, all kind of thing. And we can't deal with Ishan Steel.
But we don't want to deal with Ishan Steel. Right? That is what's going on there. And as simple as that. We don't want to take care of Ishan Steel. And all the others that misbehave in public office that we have factual evidence, corruption under the table deal, is that we don't want to deal with those situations and these individuals and these entities, right? Because they have their claws in the fabric of our nation within every level of state. I mean, Philip, well, the fight is real, you know. Trinidad and Tobago, the fight is real, you know, boy.
Tell me what is our next step then? If we do not move away from the corrupted and corruptible and corrupting influence of the PNM and the UNC, what's our next step? If we put God out of our thoughts and fire the PNM that we hire to fire the UNC that we hire to fire the PNM that we hire to fire the UNC, if we put God out of our thoughts and go back for the same Jack Warner, Ganga Singh, Fuad Khan, to come and replace the same Keith Rowley, Coleman Burt, the rest of the band of mocking pretenders in the PNM, what are we saying to ourselves? What are we telling ourselves as a go forward as a nation in a country that we know that you have spent the money? The Minister of Finance said that we've spent $5 billion on public health every year since the PNM has come to power, and we have nothing changed. We have the same ambulance saying that when they reach the hospital, that the gurneys, they have no bed to put the patient on. Like you need a magician, you need Merlin to come and tell you, buy an extra gurney. So one is in the hospital and one is in the bed. Yeah. When Coca-Cola, when Pepsi-Cola was here, I was with the Amal group. A fella called Lachman used to run the warehouse. And he tell me every case of Coke is 6 cases of bottles. One on the truck, one in the van, one in the truck, one in the warehouse, one in the customer warehouse, one in your house, one in the factory. And this one. That is what it takes to keep the life cycle flowing.
Right.
You trying to tell me that we don't understand that and we can't put something as simple as that in place? A gurney in every hospital. You can have ambulance gurneys in the hospital so that when the patients come, they just pick up another gurney and go. You can't tell me that that defeats us, but we're spending $5 billion, $5,000 million. What are we spending it on? The Progressive Empowerment Party is this country's only chance.
Yes,
because Michael Kwamina, the lawyer for all these PNM people who are getting away with all of this madness, not just PNM, he seems to represent UNC contract mafias members too. And lawyers like him are not going to have the freedom they have now to silence the public. We have a country that has broken itself playing cheap politics. Our middle class are now working poor, and our poor are now destitute. Where are we going? Where are we going? Janice, where are we going? As a nation, where are we going?
Boy, the pain is not making
And the
sense.
solutions are so simple.
Yeah, the solution,
Everybody on
solution is
Facebook,
simple.
everybody on social media right now,
Are they willing?
talking about the Progressive Empowerment Party telling you abolish the SCA. They're saying that is the best thing they ever hear. Parents telling you, but that is the obvious solution. Abolish the SCA. You wrecking families, you're wrecking lives. You're wrecking lives. I know what's going on with the computer this morning. It's like one bad day for technology.
It's Monday, you know.
I see Janice fighting up with hers. One of the Americans done start interfering. I'm a conspiracy theorist, you know.
Yeah, man, but Trinidad and Tobago is real, boy. It's real. We have to recognize the environment that we're living in. And we have to take responsibility of it, make change. And again, it's about information, you know. Find out all the information which is necessary for you to make better decisions. You You have a choice of a new political vehicle, the Progressive Empowerment
A real
Party.
political vehicle.
That's right. That's right. That was created by the people, for the people. End the story. You don't believe? Come down to the offices. Look, we open our office in South for Southside residents at 137 Manahambri Road, St. Madeline.
You practice.
Yeah, I practice it. That's my job for talk this morning.
Last week you said like a real white boy. Last week you said like a real
but
white
really
boy.
and truly, Trinidad, the information is there, and we are on a campaign and bringing as much information as possible to the public space, to the citizenry, for you to know your actual rights, for you to have the information in order for you to make better decisions. Pretty soon we're going to be opening in the next couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, the North Hub office. And again, you could always come to 19 Stanmore Avenue at the head office, headquarters, every Saturday at noon.
But we have exciting stuff coming.
There's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. Man.
To those of you who are in small business, those of you who may have been terminated or lost your job or looking for a way to augment your income, the Progressive Empowerment Party now is mostly for our members, but everything that we do, we open to the public of Trinidad and Tobago, because a lot of the people that come and deal with us in all of these things may not be members yet, but it is a way for them to meet and understand the family that is the Progressive Empowerment Party, and they eventually just want to be a part of it. But we're coming with something in a couple of weeks. We're launching the first PEP market, and a PEP market is a way for you to come and display your goods for sale in a combined environment, and we're having multiples of people. If you're interested in taking part in PEP market, you could contact all of the usual suspects, myself, Tony, Janice, Felicia, or everybody. You could message us on Facebook. You could call 3474-PEP and tell them you're interested in getting information, PEP market. You could email us, peptrinbago@gmail.com. But we will be putting out a lot more information on PEP market soon. So if you're a small businessman, a sole trader, an importer, if you have a store somewhere but you're looking for an extra avenue to vend and make some sales, come and be a part of the PEP market. Is going to be a big thing. We have overseas people sending stuff down. PEP itself, this is a way for us to raise funds for the party, because we have no deep pocket financiers, nor do we want any. We want to be an example in everything that we do, that we've held to the strongest tenets of what we believe. And we practice that no financier must dictate the pace of this party. None. Yeah? Trinidad and Tobago, our truth is we need to stand together as one people or learn to sink alone. But either way, there are going to be consequences to the decisions that we make. Yeah? That's our truth.
That's right.
I would like us to start to take some calls and open up the phone lines. Tony, you can man that desk while Janice is sorting out what she's sorting out there. 628-9595, 628-3131. If you would like to call and have your say Monday morning, at the top of the hour at 11 o'clock, we will be dealing with the rest of the substantive issues that we came to discuss today. But right now we're talking about the state of the nation. And if you would like to have your say, 628-9595, 628-3131, call in and join the conversation. Yeah?
Ready for them?
Let me just get this plug in. They're ringing already?
How do you mean if they're ringing already? They're ringing, man. People want to talk.
Answer them.
Make sure we plug this plugging part.
Alright, you ready for that, man?
Yeah, you go.
Morning, Trinidad.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, caller. How you going?
It's supposed to put you there.
Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. The first call is a Kamla maniac. Wait, don't answer no more calls. Who financing this? I want to tell you, partner. Every month is a budget balancing to pay for things like this show. If you would like to be a part of it, contact me, 682-2110. So you can call us on 3474-PEP. We have no Rowleys or no Kamlas in this party. You can take the rest of the calls.
That's right. Morning.
Hello, good morning. Yes. Yes, morning. Yes, Sangre Grande.
How you going, boss?
Janice, she distracted trying to figure out the technology. Yeah. Thank you. Caller, you're breaking up a little bit, but we get the gist of what you're saying, and we thank you for your contribution. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Hello, good morning. Janice, what are you trying to do now?
Hello, morning, caller.
Just shift.
How you going, man?
Good morning.
How's everything today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a time when the only choices in Trinidad and Tobago, that was a time when the only choices in Trinidad and Tobago was the PNM and the UNC. And that was at a time when the National Security Minister was Gary Griffith. And I thought that the party had some integrity. But it turned out it was a corrupt and diseased organ of filth. And I retract that statement completely. All right? So I want you to have a lovely day. That's my position. What's your question? No. We are not interested in any way of being involved with any corrupt politicians. Kamala has a lot to answer for, including and especially, I know you don't know because you're a sycophant, but I want you to hear that Section 34, when Kamala went in the president's house to pass Section 34 in the dead of night to free Ish and Steve, she should have made a jail for that. No, I was never a member at that time. I was working with the commissioner, with the National Security Minister, Gary Griffith, as his communications advisor. I was speaking out every time. I was speaking out all the time. Google my name, go on YouTube. Because as much as I thought she was the better choice, there is no uniting the PNM and the UNC are fronts for the contract mafia. Alright, if you believe that, you vote UNC. But the rest of the growing mass of people, listen, don't use this show to call and sell UNC stupidness. We are not interested in joining forces with the UNC at any point, at any time. Hello, good morning.
Morning. Love until in the house.
You could speak up. Watchman, hey, listen, this is what they do, you know. The UNC realize that we have a massive following. So you need to actually just, these are paid callers from the UNC. So when Trinidadians listening to this and they're hearing it, I want them to understand that Kamala can't get an audience on a radio show like we get. So they need to try and hijack our radio show and send these paid script callers. So as they call and they realize what they are, we're going to have to give them a cut. Yeah? Hello, good morning.
Morning. Yes, man. Let me hear.
No. Boy, listen now. Just disconnect them now, Tony. Don't get them chance to talk now. I not Wayne Meister, you know. I don't have no public job, you know. I cost them on the air. Take care.
Imagine that. Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, feedback there, caller.
Turn down the radio in the back,
Turn
please.
down the radio in the back.
And that's a
beautiful
very
question.
important question. You're listening off air or you're staying on the phone? All right. And what the Progressive Empowerment Party says is there should be no more mega contractors.
Yeah.
First of all, so that road paving in each of the constituencies should be contractors in the constituency.
And the mandate of them contractors
So no more,
have to hire people from that said
so no more junior Sammies and Kusals and Calcos
Really
getting
money
all
to
the
the ground.
contracts. There should be 41 constituencies. The supervisor, I don't know what Janice is trying to do. Janice, Larry, it's not helping at all. Let me forget about that. We had I know we can't test it now. I'm dealing with the whole UNC sycophant. I can't deal with that too. Yeah, the truth of the matter is, until we start sending the money down to the constituency level and giving through the constituency board of supervisors, through a supervisor of works, until we do that, we will continue to create avenues of corruption in this country. We need to make sure that in the constituency where the work is being done, that the workers and the contractors come from that constituency.
Right.
And we need to also set standards by which payment is made.
That's right.
There should be a measure and a means test for complete works where somebody at the constituency board of supervisors level signs off on the job that we have investigated and we agree that this is a complete job, you can pay for that.
Yeah.
Because if it turns out that it was a bad job, that person is now liable.
Morning, Trinidad. Caller.
Good morning. Why you?
Just so.
They're going to do that. This is what was said yesterday. It's a call to arms. They're beating them into a thing. Yeah. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Call now, man.
The mission now is the UNC is dying.
Yeah. But not only that,
The UNC is dying.
scared and
The
seeing what
Fuad
going
Khan
on.
and Ganga Singh that say Kamla carry on the party. Bring back Pandey and bring back Warner. The dinosaur
you know,
brigade.
classic. This
Take the
caller
calls.
will go in and call and say
Take the
we's a
calls.
bunch of jokers, but you looking at people in 56 years in that parliament and you ain't calling them jokers. Imagine that.
628-9595,
Imagine
628.
that.
Yeah, but we can't get distracted by
But
this.
it's true.
628-9595,
Morning,
628-3131.
morning.
Thank you for that.
All
my
right,
friend.
man.
No, but all them getting their little hops and cheese money and their phone card to call in and terrorize the show this morning. The show is not for
Let
that.
me deal with the issues
All you
that
call-
plaguing us as a nation. All you're calling and
Talking stupidness.
You understand what I say? Morning, caller.
We are, actually. We try to bring a little bit of entertainment with the information. I'm glad you appreciate it.
Yeah, boy.
628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning,
Hello, good morning. Caller.
Load on the
You have to load down the radio in the
radio in the
background.
background. Nice.
Listen, that is one corrupt party. That is one corrupt party. When you look at the front page of the Express, UNC fights alone. Watch that Dinosaur Brigade. Watch them. Ganga Singh and Fuad Khan came to 628-9595, 628-3131. We taking your calls this morning.
Morning, caller. How you good? Over here. Bless you, bless you.
Thank you, darling. 628-9595, 628-3131. We do this show and we give the people a voice. Use it properly. Use it to air the grievances or the things that need addressing in the country.
Morning, caller. How you good?
Good morning. Yes.
Yeah, we're
good
listening.
morning. No. If you listen, no. This is not them, you know. No, that's not who calling you. Last week, since we opened this show, we've been taking calls. Let me just explain something. No, I'm not. I am not going to. Listen, I am not going to. No, because they are not. Could you do what I asked you to do? Just cut it. I want you to hear me, call. I want to tell you this. That the truth of the matter is, we are not going to give them a platform by which they will call and spew their nonsense. We're not interested in that. That's not what the show is about. When we open the phone lines, it's for everyday Trinidadians and Tobagonians to have a platform that is not PNM or UNC. That is what this show is for. Yeah? So no, we don't have to wait them out.
Morning.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in giving them this platform. I'm not interested in giving them this morning. Kamala and the UNC is corrupt, and they're not going to use our show to bump their gums. I'm not interested in that at all.
Yeah. Is it a caller? We have again. Morning, caller. No, man, no, that is not the case. Understand? But also, caller. No, man. Remember, we're giving a platform for citizens at Trinidad and Tobago to talk about your issues. What we're saying is that we have created a political vehicle that would like to address those issues. That's the whole purpose of the show, you know? To educate the people, bring information to the people. Information that the people did not have before. That's all it is, you know, and it's all about love. It's all about educating and giving the information, caller. That's all it is. You understand?
Let him talk.
Right. No, but you have to understand.
Stop. You just now. I want to call up. Could I?
Just let him finish.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Could I explain something to you? Caller, no, it doesn't work like that on this show. It doesn't work like that on this show. It is about, this is a show where we open the lines and allow Trinidadians to call in and talk. This is not a public office holder sitting down there and accounting to the people. That's a different show. This show is us as a political party creating an opportunity for the public to have their say. Now, this morning, clearly, on the verge of their failed yesterday rally, whatever it was they did, because UNC people telling them they're not voting UNC. So what the UNC is trying to do is sending their people with their scripts to call in here and troll the show.
Yes. And
So
that's
to
what-
make people listening think that is everyday
So
people
you have
calling.
the same caller calling and saying,
But
well,
he
we not giving them the...
But he thinks it's everyday callers
Yeah,
that
exactly.
talking. That's not everyday
Unfortunately,
callers.
callers not everyday callers that calling. This is
Obvious script readers.
Yes,
We're not
man.
wasting
Yes.
the time. 628-9595, 628-313.
Morning, Trinidad. Morning, caller. Yes, man. What going on? Tell me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ah, beautiful. Mm-hmm.
Thanks for
Thanks a
that
lot,
call.
man.
Much appreciated.
Thanks a whole lot, brother. Really, that man make me feel good, day, boy. And that's what it is, you know. It's about us putting that information out there.
As you say, putting information out there, the Progressive Empowerment Party Valentine's Day fundraiser.
Yeah.
Pickup will be at PEP headquarters, 19 Stanmore Avenue on South Office, 137 Manahambre Road, St. Madeleine, on the 13th and 14th of February. When making your order, indicate which day you will be collecting and where. You can choose the following colors: solo or combination: red, orange, yellow, peach, and white. You can submit your order at either office 4 to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday till the 10th of February, or by phone or WhatsApp to 316-0015 Keisha, 759-3138 Sasha, or 349-8239 Nadini. Or you can send a Facebook message to the PEP Women's Arms page. A single rose bouquet is $50, and a triple bouquet $150. That's 3 roses and all of the stuff that comes with it. It is the Progressive Empowerment Party Women's Valentine's Day fundraiser. So you could feel free, all the fellas who need to buy roses.
How many are by way?
A few.
Yeah? Sorry. I didn't mean to blow you up there. Sorry, there, brother.
I was standing in order. No, you know how to sit down here and know it. And I take it as a compliment that the UNC unleashed the horde on me this morning. Kamala, I hear you. I hearing your fear in every one of those calls. I hearing your fear in every one of your trolls that you have to send to attack the Progressive Empowerment Party, while you and the PNM, government and opposition, don't understand what the hell you're all doing. You all have to take on this organization that sends a strong
You know
and
it must send
a strong and
message,
clear
man.
message.
We're
Take the calls.
Ah,
You know what the
boy.
callers say? Let them talk the talk.
Yeah. Morning, caller. How you going, man?
Do your arithmetic and tell me. Tony, you didn't plug in this properly. Janice, you check that, man. This
Go ahead.
conversation is not about PNM and UNC. They're both corrupt. They're both corrupt. They both stink and dirty. Which campaign? Anti both of them. Two corrupt cancers.
Yeah.
You only paying attention to here in UNC. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that the UNC is corrupt? Yes. Do you think the UNC is... I answered you. Answer me. Do you think the UNC is corrupt? Okay, well, hang up on him. Because he's a sycophant. He called to say PNM corrupt, but UNC not.
corrupt.
Despite everything that he saw. So why would I continue to entertain him?
Give him a reminder now.
628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller.
PC charger.
How you going? What's that?
I think that judging by the experience we have had with the PNM and the UNC, you might be fair to say that. And that's why I am loath to call us in the Progressive Empowerment Party politicians. We're still political activists. You see, read a script and hang up.
Morning. How you good?
Yeah, we're not interested in their voters.
So you anticipate the interest. Yeah.
So you're saying the corruption is because of time? You're saying that the corruption is because of time? So I want to ask you a question. When Napa was budgeted at 156 million, and Napa, you're not hearing me? What about now?
Yeah.
When Napa, Sapa and Tapa was 150 million, 162 million, 112 million, it turned out to be $1.5 billion. When the Tobago Hospital that was 220 million become 1.2 billion. When Taruba Stadium that was 163 million become 1.1 billion dollars. You telling me that is because of length of time for bill? I telling you this country is corrupt. There is a contract mafia.
Yeah, that's corruption.
They say the thief and less. I wouldn't know that I call about. If it's one thing I want to get to a place in this country where we wouldn't be adjudicating between the corruption of the PNM and the UNC. Thanks a lot for your call. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, Gola. How are you?
Our policy is that all financing must be transparent and public. We could deal with all the nations of the planet. That's not the problem. What we have a big problem with is the amount of financing we've taken for irrelevant projects that we did not need, like Napa, Sapa, Tapa. We didn't need all three of them. Half of these hospitals that we're building would have been proper served as 41 constituency healthcare centers with accident and emergency facilities open 24/7. That would have been a better service. But it's easier to do. It's easier to do and manage. This is a dot in the ocean. We have regional health authorities in this country, yet the whole country in Great Britain, who we copy, wouldn't qualify as one RHA. I know it's hard to accept that you live in a country this broken, this mismanaged, this corrupt. But you have to open your mind, and the best way to do it, don't just take my word for it. Go and look at the world. But you have to. That is your measure. You think China is the only people that want to invest in this dot? I don't think that's why we take loans from China. I think we take loans from China because China itself is willing to facilitate third world dictatorship corruption. China is interested in empire expansion and is using Trinidad and Tobago as a means to which they could benefit, not to help us. I can't say that. What I will say to you is that any loans that we take from anybody, the terms and conditions will be favorable to Trinidad and Tobago. We understand what we have to offer, you know, and we understand what they have to sell. And somewhere inside of there is an opportunity for us to work together and benefit ourselves and whoever is making the finance available. Thanks.
Yeah, man.
628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning. Hello? Hello?
628-9595, 628-3131. Hello, good morning.
Morning. How
Yes,
you going,
good
sir?
morning. Janice. Thank you for that, caller. Much appreciated.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
man.
you for that. They can't scare me.
Don't worry.
They can't scare me. I like you say,
No fear.
we read it for what it is. They wasting. You think they're wasting them phone card this morning to attack us for no reason? Thank you, caller. You're a patriot. You're a patriot. Thank you for that, caller. Thank you for that.
Yes, man. Have a good-
628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller. How you going, man?
Good morning. And Janice, who is present in the station, but she's trying to land the space shuttle.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for that, caller.
Yeah,
Much
man,
appreciated. Well, more than saluting, more than saluting, I hope you come down to one of the offices and get yourself involved, because we need all hands on deck to fight and wrestle these two demon hordes that is the PNM and the UNC. Thank you, my friend. Have
a
an
good
excellent
Have a
day.
good Yeah.
628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller. How you going now? Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
And it's you, and it's people like you that have them so nervous that they send, because they get in the numbers, you know, caller. Thanks a lot, caller. I appreciate greatly the call.
Yeah.
They get in the numbers, they get in the polls, they get in the feedback from the ground.
They know.
Even their UNC counselors,
Yes,
PNM counselors
yes.
telling them that what the Progressive Empowerment Party is talking about is what the people want to be talking about.
That's right.
And that's the point.
That's
And they
right.
cannot Kamla cannot have this conversation. Keith Rowley cannot have this conversation. They cannot account for the state of this nation.
That's right.
And the day we get a chance to debate them, but if they don't debate us in public now, put us in public office, give us the opportunity to open those books publicly, I will show Trinidad and Tobago all these people who become millionaires, 100 millionaires and billionaires because of the PNM and UNC, and we will bring them to justice. I want them to be very afraid. We must make sure and worry them. They must know that the days of the glorification of your criminal self is coming to an end. The people are standing up. One people under one flag. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, Gola. Hello? Not there. Hello? Morning, Gola. Good morning, good morning. How are you?
Yes, ma'am. Lunch Park. Empowerment Party, yes. Of course. Thank you, darling. I love that. Don't worry about that now. Don't get jealous now. I take 5 sycophants in a row. Let me get all honey now. 628-9595, 628-3131. We're taking your calls right through.
Hello? Morning.
Thank you, caller. And let talk. Let me use that phone card. Billions of dollars, you say? That's it, caller?
Yeah.
That's it? Right. 628-9595, 628-3131. Forget them. You don't matter answer them. 628-9595, 628-3131. So they want us to let them talk. They read the script. Read the script and use up the phone card. Good morning.
How you going?
Good morning.
How you going?
Anthony Defoe and Janice Leamon Creaky. It's a mouthful to say. Caller, you're breaking up a little bit. Just try and speak into the phone. I want to hear what you're saying. Okay, well. Okay, you're breaking up a little bit. All right. So this is the greatest assurance of all, that the Progressive Empowerment Party, despite being under a media blackout and has no deep pocket finances, has reached 2 years old. We are changing the national narrative while other parties like the COP, the ILP, the whatever other MSJ, no one takes them on. They're getting media time, but they're contributing nothing to the national conversation. We've brought policies and programs into the national conversation that are so stunningly revolutionary that the PNM and the UNC are tripping over themselves to try and steal and keep up. What would prevent us from becoming other versions of the same corrupt PNM and UNC is the fact that we are not connected to the contract mafia who is responsible for all of the corruption that takes place in this country, and that more than anything else. But on top of that, we promise, and this is a serious promise, to abolish and shut down all the special purpose companies that Patrick Manning created to run and run around the tenders process. All the EFCL and EMBD and UDCOT and Sport TT and VEMCOT and the rest of them that was created as a means by which political handlers could siphon public funds. We are going to shut them down and replace it with a robust and public tenders system where every contract awarded above $1 million will be published in the newspapers for all to see. The terms and the conditions of the contract so that it will be transparent and open to the public. 628-9595, 628-3131. We're taking your calls.
Morning. Well, how you going? Yeah, the phone says we're ringing off the hook, boy. Yeah.
So Trinidad and Tobago. When you say a base, caller, when you say a base, what are you referring to?
They have a base. I mean, you.
Asking you again, you're not going nowhere. Stay on this call. No. So you're saying that. Right.
The creators of the Trinidad and Tobago, this way that movement, created like that. So the election.
No, that's not true, because if you look at historic voting patterns in the last couple elections, we've had governments that are in fact minority governments. This government that is in office now, is less than half the population voted for them and they had no choice. So to say that it was an either or when there was only those two choices is kind of rewriting history to fit the facts. And no, but prior to the NAR, because I'm giving you a political history, prior to the NAR in 1986 that routed the PNM's hold on government, there was only really one party and an opposition for life, ULF, led by Basdeo Pandey and Rafiq Shah. And that morphed into the NAR. When the NAR broke apart and Pandey took the Indians with him and went and formed Club 88 that became the UNC in the Aranguez Savannah after, for a couple election terms here, we've had some exchange. But that should not have been the sum total of our political experience and limiting ourselves to racist voting and saying, when you call and say they have a base, so you say Africans only hold the country for 5 years and then let in, just answer here, then no, but it's not the fact, because more than 50% of the population, no, but you are not accounting for 50% of the population who don't vote. And it is them that we are interested in bringing into the conversation. Because if we mobilize their vote, we will annihilate both the PNM and the UNC. And that is our base. Our base is the people that want nothing to do with the PNM and the UNC. Our base is the people that don't consider themselves black first or Indian first. Our base is the people who want a better Trinidad and Tobago. And because we exist, the base of both the PNM and the UNC has shrunk right down to just the racist sycophants. Caller, how old are you? 30. I want you to hear some statements, right? There was a statement that said, no matter how good he sounds, no matter how eloquent he speaks, a black man will never be president of the United States of America. You remember that? No matter how much money he have, no matter how hard he try, he will never get the Republican nomination. That was Donald Trump. Okay, so he have the Republican nomination, but he nasty and he want to grab them by the genitals. No matter what he say, no matter what he do, he will not be president of the United States. He's president now. Women will never have a vote. Women do not have the right to own property, so why will they have a vote? Women have the vote because of Susan B. Anthony and the suffragette movement. Black people were considered 2/3 of a person and entitled to be slaves according to the United States Constitution. An amendment to that Constitution freed the slaves. Civil rights is a joke. People should be allowed to vote by sheer numbers. Civil rights is another amendment to the United States Constitution. I am telling you all of this so that you understand that everything is one thing until change comes. Yeah? The whole world didn't expect a European Union. The world wasn't expecting Britain to leave the union that they formed. So Trinidad and Tobago is right and ripe for us to break and change the racist tribal patterns. And you, as a young man who is willing to take a chance even to have a conversation about politics, you should step up and add your voice to the national conversation and insist on change. Yeah? Thanks a lot for that. I hope that I could meet you in person one day. I hope you could come to one of our meetings. We meet every Saturday at noon. We fight in all 41 constituencies. At the end of the day, we've become the size that we are in 2 short years because the public want change. We will continue to make ourselves available as the vehicle for change. Yeah? Have a good day. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
What are you going on?
It stink. It disgusted. Thank you.
Nice, man.
Thank you
Well
for
said.
that.
Well said.
Yes. Before you go, I want to tell you something.
He win
It is
there.
no, but he win.
He win there.
But it's him, and that is the voice of Trinidad and Tobago,
Yes.
and that's what everybody needs to pay attention to.
Yeah.
That is the growing mass that crying out for political freedom. Thank you for that call. Have a
Yeah,
great
man.
day.
Have a great day, man. Hello, morning. How you going?
Good morning.
Not too bad, man. And yourself? Not too bad. I'm doing well. All right.
Man, ain't tell me good morning, eh? You have a question for you. When he finished with Mr. Alexander, let me just brace. Thank you. You want me to? You mean answer now or you're listening off here?
Mm-hmm.
Janice, you left the number with Janice. What is Janice doing with that?
Arima.
We
yes,
open
yes,
it.
yes.
We opening on the 23rd of March. Tell him we opening on the 23rd of March in Baratown.
No, you seen me before Carnival. Well, listen, you have my number 688-4012. Touch base. Well, just touch base with me after the radio show. Well, lovely. Right. It's a hunt. Listen, it's so much people that be calling there, boy. I have a whole battalion of people in the east there, boy, to go up and see. Yes, definitely. Will do. Yes. No, we thinking about our.
I want to add to this call. We're opening on the 23rd of March in Barataria, and I want to tell you this: 4 weeks after that, we come in Tumpuna Road.
Nah, I know it is. Yeah. I come into you. Don't worry. I come into you. Of course. Yes, I do. I have your number, and we spoke. All right. Beautiful.
Before I
Nice.
answer the next
Hey.
call, though, I want to say that he asked about our ministers.
Yeah.
And these are things that we need to discuss with Trinidad and Tobago. Because when you have a government that foists people on you and tell you this is your minister of this and that is your minister of that for political reasons, it doesn't augur well for who gets the job done. You must make sure that what comes before the people And if you look in the United States of America, there are people who have to go and be ratified in their position, in key position. He raised some key positions, particularly finance and the Attorney General. And those are two very important positions in the operations of the country. We propose, because so much work has to be done, we propose to bring these people before the public and have them, through their parliament, ratify them in these positions. A minister of finance must be able to tell the country that in my term, if you appoint me in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years, this is what we hope to accomplish. These are our targets. We have ministers come into office that just, hey, I'm the minister of this, I'm the minister of that. Right. What's your role? What's your job? Nobody's having that conversation. The Minister of Education is supposed to be able to say that we're aiming for a target of 200 purpose-built 10-year schools zoned with a GPA. We're abolishing the SEA. So we put in legislation in place to abolish the SEA. In 2 years, we hope to start construction within 1 year on all 200 purpose-built schools. We're supposed to be commissioning all of them, because you could build 200 schools at the same time. And we want to be commissioning all of them within 4 years, so that the SEA would be abolished and children will be transitioning from Standard 5 to Form 1 in what would now be grades. Grade 5, grade 6. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? And so we want to be in a situation where the ministers are accountable to the public, to the point where they're saying, this is the when, this is the how much, this is the why. So that the average person in Trinidad and Tobago is understanding why the Ministry of Public Utilities is decentralizing WASA, and what deadlines we're looking at per constituency when we set up the smaller water management companies in each constituency. So you could have a WASA Toko Manzanilla and a WASA Diego Martin Central, and they have their own mandates within their constituencies, and we could discuss. Mayaro is a much bigger constituency than Diego Martin Central. In fact, all the Diego Martins, Port of Spain, North, St. Anne's, West, all of them could fit in Mayaro. So that the cost to manage water in Mayaro, just on pipe and pumps alone, is greater than the cost to manage water in Diego Martin Central, which is concentrated. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So we want to be able to have our ministers talk to the public and bring to them information as to how we, is not just fix the country. This is how we're going to fix the country. And what the people like, and what a lot of people like, is the amount of information they get from the Progressive Empowerment Party. That we say that this woman who was in Balandra last night, who couldn't breathe and who was having these head pains, her family should have been able to take her to the health center, open 24/7. That there would have been a doctor on call. That doctor would have been the first person there. And in that health center, they would have been able to identify, stabilize, treat, and release. Identify, stabilize, treat, hold for a couple of days, or identify, stabilize, treat, and send to a bigger hospital if it needed to be. But we need 41 of those 24/7 constituency healthcare centers with minor surgery suites that are able to treat with all of the issues that you could end up in casualty for. If an ambulance could pick you up, there's a list. There's a list of people, and a list of ailments, that you could have. And those ailments should be able to be managed in the casualty department of all 41 health centers, so that you don't end up waiting 2.5 hours just to get attended to.
Yes, Trinidad and Tobago, all you hear that? That is a solution.
So when we talk our ministers, our Minister of Sport must have a plan. In fact, we actually say that the Ministry of Sport and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs should not be ministries, and those should be departments of ministries. It should be a Secretary of Sport and a Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Because those are not full-blown ministerial posts, if you understand what I'm saying. They don't have national issues to manage. They have specific issues to manage. But even the Secretary of Sport and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs should be able to address the public and say, these are our goals, these are our deadlines, this is our timeline. Measurable metrics that you could go back and say, okay, that by the end of this year, we hope to be able to accomplish X, Y, and Z. Bring people into the country. If you sit with people like Atto Bolden and talk to them and say, Atto, what do we require for our track and field people and our Olympics, right? What do we require from an infrastructural point of view, from a funding point of view? What should be our goals and our targets? And Atto, because he's experienced in this continuously.
This is it.
he should be able to guide and advise.
This is it.
Our foreign affairs minister should know that we don't need the amount of high commissioners and ambassadors we have now. That we just need 5. European Union, Asia, Africa,
The
America, and the United Nations. I say United Nations.
No.
Europe, Americas, United Nations, Africa, Asia. Those are the ambassadors, high commission offices that we need to deal with those regions, because you no longer have to be face to face. You could FaceTime, you could email. There are a lot of different ways to communicate.
Right.
And the purpose of an ambassador and a high commissioner should be to sell Trinidad business to the world and to bring foreign direct investment to Trinidad. We are not just appointing ministers to say, look at work, or there's a post to fill. We are appointing people to posts within a mission, as is that we've said in our manifesto, Reboot the Republic. This is what the country needs. The country needs water management. The country needs a supervisor of public works within each constituency to make sure that roads and sidewalks and everything is taken care of. We need to make sure that all of our public utilities are addressed and that people have access. Trinidadians need to start having these conversations.
Yeah.
When the Minister of Finance talking about the budget shouldn't be 2 hours. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move.
It's supposed to be days.
The budget is supposed to be days.
That's
When you
right.
read the budget, there is a budgetary allocation for each constituency that you're supposed to know the developmental and maintenance plans of each constituency, so that you will know, and that member of parliament supposed to be in the know. He's supposed to be in the know. Because when it's, regardless of whether you are in the government or not, you're in the parliament, and the Minister of Finance is the Minister of Finance of your constituency,
That's
whether
right.
you are part of the party that won the elections or not.
Tell them.
Your constituents can't be left out of the national conversation. So when the Minister of Finance stands up to speak the budget, it must be public health, education, national security, public utilities, from the perspective of all of the constituencies in the country. That's the only way we're going to drill right down and make sure everybody gets their share of the national pie. Without that, we will just continue more of this.
Yes, more the same thing we do
More
in
of this.
56 years
Government
plus.
by VAPs. Policy on the hoof. Janice knows what I'm talking about. Too much government by VAPs. Too much policy on the hoof. You can't come at the people out of the blue, win an election, and talk sandals when sandals was never part of the conversation. You can't
Thank
come
you.
and shut Petrotrin down and that wasn't part of your policy.
Yeah.
You can't be privatizing TSTT and B-Mobile billables without having told the people first why you're doing that and account for it, what systems have been put in place. We are doing policy on the hoof and it is failing. And now, more than anything else, you have a government, because they didn't have a plan and the people weren't included in the plan, so the nation have no roadmap to prosperity. Now that we've lost the dragon field and we've lost sandals, the government is in panic mode.
Yeah.
And the people don't know who to turn to for guidance, because Keith Rowley, for all his graphs and charts, all he said was that the last government and this government has mismanaged this country and betrayed your trust. 628-9595, 628-3131. We are
Boom.
taking your calls.
Trinidad. Good morning, caller.
I don't want that. We want to be law-abiding, democratic. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't believe that people thinking like that, you know. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
listening to you. Listening to you.
Go ahead.
We are listening to you.
Was that?
We are listening to your caller. You make your you make your contribution. I will answer you when you're done. Diego Martin.
Diego Martin.
Caller. All right, listen. I had to interrupt you because you're saying the same thing over and over. Now, and I want to tell you something. The past does not equal the future. The past does not equal the future. And a woman could stay in a relationship where she getting licks until the day she decides to pack up and leave, and then the man have nobody to beat. We want to isolate the PNM and the UNC. Yeah, we want to leave them with nobody else to abuse.
Morning. Hello? Morning, caller. Alright, we had a
628-9595, 628-3131.
morning.
I think after the next
I think
election,
crystal ball.
I think after the next election, the PNM is going to be annihilated politically, and there's not going to be a PNM after this. It almost happened in 1986, and it surprisingly almost happened in 2010 as well. The PNM will not survive the next election. I agree with you. I don't think you should be voting PNM at all. When you look at what's going on, you shouldn't be supporting the PNM. You should be supporting a government that wants to bring you hope and opportunity. And that's what the people of Kokorit need. And I feel for you. I'd like to know. I'm not understanding the purpose of your question, but maybe you could tell us why you're asking these questions. We'll be able to answer you better. Alright, caller, you can't run through the list of all the things that you think that you want to ask. Make your contribution, please. Alright, what is the right way? Give me the advice. Okay. Thanks a lot. Call it the young people not polarized, you know. Do you deal with young people? Yeah, but okay, so what happens when the people who are polarized die out and go? But you just said the young people don't vote. And I'm telling you, you're wrong. Because we're mobilizing and our biggest following are elders. Caller, you need to wake up to the truth, you know. All right, well then stop calling the show. Find something else to listen to. Don't let this bother you. 628-9595, 628-3131. They have so much other radio station you can be listening to.
How are you going on?
Good morning.
Morning.
Mm-hmm.
Do not answer.
How's it going? More of the same?
Very supporting.
Thanks for the contribution.
Janice, your voter? Huh? Your voter?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for calling. Yeah, man, you have a good day. Well, I mean, it's true, but you know, we have a large portion of the population too that was born into the system that we've been dealing with for all these years. They knows nothing different, nothing better, nothing other. So, I mean, that is the biggest job we have on the ground as a new political vehicle that is driven by the people. It's about information, letting the people know what their rights are, letting the people know for fact the actual environment that they're in. I mean, that is the whole mission in itself, you know, and you know, slowly but surely people are waking up and understanding and realizing, and again, with the information is allowing people to make better decisions. And that's basically what it is. But right now, we're going to go and do some, pay some bills real quick. We're just going to do some ads in a little bit, guys, so do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility as named by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercial
How much time we had here?
as
A
the
couple minutes?
8 minutes.
that you have
8
to
minutes
judge
ads?
for yourself. We however
No, but
reserve
not 8.
the right to question
8 minutes ads, you see?
You know, this is too hard.
So,
Well, you're running all you're running all one time, right? No?
Forward run. The
It is
4 minutes, the next 4
sometimes
minutes.
to get
The next break.
Now, break all now.
It is not
Why?
our intention to discriminate or annoy
Anyone
anyone.
in love
We
here,
believe
just talk
it
to
is
them.
our constitutional right to free speech to voice our opinion and our duty
You
to
wanna
the
realize
population
the problem?
and country to expose the
speakers?
truth. More FM Limited
The
takes no
extension
responsibility
was
for
switched
the
off.
opinions
Because when I
of
pack
others.
up
What you mean the
everything,
extension?
well, when I plugged the speakers into the electrical, nothing was happening. But then I realized when I came off of Vivo that my phone wasn't charging. And it was coming off of the same extension that I was plugging into the machine.
Right.
So now I realized that why is it like that?
And then why you still need to plug into this?
Well, no, because I didn't realize that this was off. The extension was off.
So you now get on,
Yes.
so you don't need to plug into my thing again. But what's the purpose of those speakers? So we don't need to use headphones?
Exactly. And because everybody on Facebook is going to be hear the call.
Yeah, but unless you could bring those speakers close to this and it would still send a feedback to the mic.
Well, no, because I was going to put the speakers up again. Everybody would have been able to hear.
If
You wouldn't get feedback once it's on that board right there.
feedback is caused when the audio from the speaker go into the microphone. So regardless of where you put the speaker, because there's a loop, is you are now broadcasting what you're broadcasting. That's what feedback is. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So at any point in time, the issue is getting, for the Facebook people, I mean, with your Mevo thing is different. You can put it close to Mevo because that's far. This right here by the mic. We gotta find a solution. Yeah?
Solution to
Party-goers, it's what you have waited for. It's what you have longed for. On Saturday, 23rd February, we travel from Mendes Drive to Long Circular as more 104.7 FM in collaboration with Open Incorporated.
See, the thing is, if people on Facebook want to hear the callers, because the numbers are dropping. So people don't want to just, they want to hear what's going on. But I realized this morning that this extension was not $100 to get the new power from the speakers. So Wednesday, I will try it again. This time I will
I still say that we just need a small speaker that could come close to this for me. But you deal with the Mevo.
For further information, come and support your favorite station. More 104.7 FM and its premiere Carnival Cola Fest, Saturday, February 23rd. At Property Copper, Long Circular Road, St. James, 10 p.m. Courtesy Black Opal, Anki Bannister, and Blue Waters. There will be a prize for the biggest cola.
Lunch.
Super quality would never be beaten.
Roti.
Conveniently
You're
located
gonna have any
Spring
cruise?
City, Hoover, and Endeavour
I don't
Road
want you up in that.
Come experience
Hey, Pep Market though. Pep Market gonna be big, you know.
Yeah.
Pep Market. Huh? We have to look for venues. If we're going to be out in the open, we have to get, better buy about 50 more tents. But if we rent in space that covered it.
is a paid political program and
You said that.
104.7 FM.
Morning, evening, hello.
We back inside?
Yeah, we're back inside.
Trinidad and Tobago is 10 minutes past 11 on the, what is the date today? I keep forgetting. 28th of January, betting on the 28th. It's Monday the 28th of January. Those of you who are following us on 104.7, we appreciate it greatly. And to the people who, I guess, I can't speak to you directly because you're doing what you think is your job, but you're not really helping the country. And I need for you to hear yourself. When you're calling to attack people who are just trying to fight for a better country for all of us. And at the end of the day, we must be open to political expression. And to all of the UNC members and the PNM members who keep messaging me to ask if we have a problem with the fact that they were formerly UNC and PNM members, the answer is no. Everybody in this Progressive Empowerment Party at some point supported a different political movement. We had limited choice.
True.
Now we have a better choice, and it is open to every single citizen. In fact, right now until March 31st, we tell you, even if you're having a difficulty with the membership fee to join the party, we'll cover that for you.
Yeah.
Because we are on a membership drive and we want everybody to feel comfortable joining the Progressive Empowerment Party. Last week we opened our San Fernando regional headquarters in 137 Manahambre Road, pronounce the area.
St. Madeleine.
And on the 23rd of March, we are going to be opening at 5 p.m. 10th Street, 10th Avenue.
10th Ave, yeah.
10th Avenue, Barataria. 4 weeks from that, we're opening on Tampuna Road, Arima. So the message is clear. Don't be fooled by paid political rallies and stunts. I remember when Brian Stone, a UNC activist, told me that Sadiq Bash spent $25 million to fill Eddie Hard Savannah for overhead shot. $25 million in fake attendees. When the Progressive Empowerment Party gets a phone call when we open the lines, those are genuine voters, citizens calling. When you have to send people to read a script, to interrupt and troll our conversation, they're not really supporting you. They're working for wherever it is you're giving them. But at the end of the day, the Progressive Empowerment Party not going away.
True.
I am the only political leader that will sit down for 6 hours a week with an open phone line.
Yeah.
And you could call. Every Saturday we have a public meeting, open microphones, come and talk. No other political leader goes on television and tell the host, open the mic. Open, let them call. Open the phone lines. Open the phone lines. Kid Rowley can't do that. Kamala cannot do that. Because if one call, when Kid Rowley duck and run from Palo Seco, it's because they knew what was coming. The people no longer interested in foolishness. They're not taking nonsense. You heard that lady from Cocorit? She not voting PNM. You know what that means? You know what that means? Morva, Bitam, Lavatel, and Silots don't want PNM no more. The same way Rapai Village and Karani don't want UNC. The people want a government to come and serve them and do the job. That's all they're interested in. That's all they're interested in.
Yeah.
To the old dinosaurs that want to call and say race and base. Forget that foolish talk. Race and base don't help nobody. I don't want a Syrian government or a half-breed government. A red man party. I want a government regardless of its skin color or its hue and texture to just come and do the freaking job. This is Monday morning. If I could take this time off, Janice, the three of us could be on Maracas.
Yeah, boy, eating a little bacon shack.
Shack and bake.
Shack and bake, bacon shack.
30 years now we eating whitefish and calling it shark. Chilis could put up with anything, you know. When was the last time you actually get shark in your shack and bacon? That's just one example. Whole place mash up, whole place spoil. That is the truest line in a calypso ever. Whole place spoil. They spoil it. Nothing works. Even the sycophants know when they step out through the gate, in the house they're not safe. If the house catch a fire and they call the fire engine can tell them, boy, we break down. Fan, use your hose.
Yeah.
And then they're using your hose to hold your fire. And Wassa come and find you.
You get charged for that.
Yeah, Wassa say that they could come into your yard at any time under the terms of the restrictions. It is an insanity. We just had more water than we could have dealt with. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith had to go and close the North-South Highway.
Yeah.
And now, that water, people will kill for that water. Nothing works, man.
Tell me why.
Nothing works.
Watch me flood half the country.
You're in your house, if your house burned down, you have no water, fireman can't come.
You saying right now, all you don't get caught, water in your plant, full in your pool, washing your car, and all them kind. What? Really? Trinidad and Tobago?
You fall sick, you call the ambulance can't come. The ambulance come and take you to hospital on a bed, they can't find no doctor.
Come on, man.
You have no water in your tap. You're full in bucket of bed.
Oh Lord.
I have that down as a special. I know the last 2 bowls of water. And you brace for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had to make sure because you can't run out of water in that bucket and still have soap under your arms.
Watch me.
Huh? Tony,
It was a.
you ever finish? You ever run out of water
Yeah.
and still have soap under your arms, boy? Whole day walking on squeaking. Anyway, tell me about Santa Cruz.
No, I said I used to live on a hill and I mean having to go down in the morning early hours. I talking at past 5, you know, walking down the hill 2 buckets of water, I had to walk back up. And here I'm telling you I had to walk a little small pot. That's a warm that 1 bucket, because what's with the water?
Watch me, eh? When you had to bathe in a cold bucket of water,
Yes, no
that
joke.
first bowl,
That is no joke, brother.
I think that's how breakdancing was in it. That first bowl of water. I think that's how breakdancing was in it. And again, we had to laugh because, watch me.
To seem to know some of the things that we have done as a citizenry throughout in this country for all these years, boy, while the rest of the world just advancing, gaining new technologies, new
Singapore
techniques.
left the gate at the same time as
That's
Trinidad.
Trinidad, yeah.
They left the gate at the same time as Trinidad. And 56 years later, Trinidad is a corrupt, broken, failed narco state cesspool. And Singapore, which is smaller than Trinidad, didn't have the oil and gas booms that we got. Singapore is a first world developed nation.
Imagine.
Now you tell me this. Now you tell me this. You tell me how that is possible.
I can't tell you.
You tell me, the whole world now is trying to follow the Finland model. Trinidad we accelerating our commitment to a bad decision with our SCA. You do not need SCA. You don't need it. There was a time when you needed a common entrance exam. Why? You needed it because you had more children than school places.
Right.
So some was going and fail and stay with mommy and daddy and plant grass. But now you have enough school places for all children. So your policy is supposed to be make all of those schools functional. That is not rocket science.
Yeah.
That is not rocket science.
You're right. You're right.
Right now, while we're speaking, there are 1 billion children in school all around the world. We don't have to make this up out of whole cloth. Look for what works and copy that.
Correct.
Why is that so hard to do?
Yeah.
You've spent in the last 20 years on education alone $500 billion, and this is what we have to show for it. Tell me now, man.
Sad.
Minister of Education can come on national TV and talk. We have a large percentile. How much is it? That was failing each year. And you still sit down there with our normal, pulling a salary. Yeah? Ain't come to the people to say this is what we will do, this is what we're looking into, this is what we would like the
Tony,
evolution of our
3 years,
education to be.
3 years
Yeah.
into government, Fakir Rowley still telling us about Kamala and she corruption. I don't want to hear about Kamala and her corruption. The only time I want to be hearing about those people is if their names getting called in a court.
Yes.
Don't give me foolishness.
Yeah.
Tell me that they're being called to answer for their crimes. Don't keep harping on the nonsense. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I want to hear about you You are the government. Keith Rowley, you are the Prime Minister. 3 years in, you could have solved water. Right now, everybody could have water in the tap 24/7.
We're getting drought notice.
Right now, you could have had all of the flooding situation in this country under control with retention ponds alone. Right now, all the schools in this country could have abolished the SEN. We could have been on the path of first world education that leaves no child behind. Right now.
In fact, instead of spending the 400 million they spent up in the East, they reaping that forest. They couldn't use and allocate that monies to try to set up retention ponds.
Tony, we took $25 billion to buy Clico's failed company from Lawrence Dupre and still own it and using them to thief money. Sell all. Sell all, because when you was ready to pull out Sandals land, to pull out no man's land for Sandals, you went to the court and you do it. Sell it. Put the people $25 billion back in the treasury. We're not supposed to be owning Republic Bank. Sell it.
True.
Put Republic Bank shares for sale on the open market. Sell Angostura. Sell all of these things. Get back our $25 billion. And if you don't get back the full $25 billion, go after Dupre. Get it back from him. That bailout was 10 years. 10 years. The United States of America bailed out their banks. And by the end of the second year, all of those banks paid off their bailout in full. How come we still sitting on Clico? One Woodbrook Place, right here, is a corrupt. Let me tell you something, man. People getting place to rent in one Woodbrook Place to run business that paying $1 a month. And the land, the management, and them playing the fool. Apartments sold under market price to ministers for them to flip and sell and make the profit. Ask Keith Rowley about that. We not supposed to still be holding on to Clico. 3 years was enough to deal with that. If you say Kamla and people was corrupt, you had 3 years, you bring one to justice. You're playing smart with stupidness.
That's another story.
Again, it's all this misdirection towards the people, boy, and at the bottom line is that the people simply don't have the factual information for them to make the better decisions, and that has a part to play where media and all is concerned, because they themselves not even doing the investigative powers that is bestowed.
But look at Josh Surtees from Great Britain.
Oh yes.
He tell you they are propaganda, and I say, but wait, I tell you that last year when Rowley ex-girlfriend Judy Raymond was made editor-in-chief. I tell him that last year. Jones P. Madeira, who wrote Chutney Rising in The Guardian, the most heinous and obscene piece of racist filth, a headline when Pandey was made Prime Minister. Jones P. Madeira still could be in media in this country. We that bad? We have such little self-respect. Call us quality talks about the base. How your base tolerating that? Indian people buying news there. And I'm just telling you, all of this exposes the nonsense of how we operate this country. Because the day we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, demanded better from these political office holders, they would do the job. And the Progressive Empowerment Party says one thing, one important law is missing in this country, and that is recall. Because if we had the right to fire non-performing members of government, they would do their job. Janice.
Well, today has certainly been a day for history and for facts, because I mean, I'm hearing things that I wasn't even aware of, and it is so good to be told and or given the facts, so that you're listening and you're wondering, well, where are we as a country? Why do we still have people calling in and asking questions that, I mean, doesn't just does not make sense? Are they not listening to the facts? Are they not paying attention? What are we? Where are we going? Where are we going? Look at what's going. I mean, we see what's going on in Venezuela. We see what's going on around the world. I mean, come on, wake up. You're gonna wait until, as Philip keeps saying, we have to line up in Massey stores, show the US, and only 4 people going in at a time. Are we going to wait for those times that time to come? Look at sanctions. We could have sanctions imposed upon us. Do people truly understand what sanctions will mean to the people of Trinidad?
They will understand. They will understand it. No, but you know what you'll know. They will understand what Janice is talking about is you're going to reach the situations, if the government doesn't manage this properly, you're going to have situations where people do not understand and react and panic buy and hoard and all kind of madness, black market prices. That's where we go in.
Well, look, in a normal environment, you talk about the workers in NP or something who does drive the gas trucks that might be on strike. Look at what has happened. A whole bum rush, the whole country running to every gas station to buy out all the gas.
Here, every creed and race find an equal place. How does that fit into the notion of political parties having a base, Janice? How does here, every creed and race find an equal place fit into Africans in power now, Indian whole aside, Indian in power now, African whole aside? How does that measure up to here? Every creed and race find an equal place. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have to spit out and vomit out this nonsense. If you're telling me that the UNC and the PNM only exist because of racist voting, listen to what you're saying.
Correct.
Listen to what you're saying. And you be the change. You be the change.
Very true. Very true.
You make sure to not vote racist.
Yeah. Well, the point is right now, Trinidad and Tobago, you have a choice. You have a choice from what has been posed to us as a population on Trinidad and Tobago for the last 56 years. You have a choice now other than what we have had before. And again, do not take our word for it. We are creating the vehicles, the places, the point of entries in South, in East, in North, in Tobago. My point is Trinidad and Tobago, as citizens of this land, your navel string is buried here. Your children's navel string will be buried here.
One airing of an ad have the UNC farting. When the show run on Wednesday, they gotta change the draws. And I'm telling you plain. Because what they're fighting is to silence this movement.
That's right.
Because this is a movement of fact that says we're not interested in your money. We're not interested in ego stunting and race. We want a better country.
Just want to fix it.
You do it, or we will do it. We've actually given the people the opportunity to tell them, you go and tell your leader. Ask your leader. Say, hey, Keith, you as a eyes up. Tell them. If you're a PNM till you're dead. But tell me why we are no water. How could Cocorite, Tony, they named the place Waterhole, Janice. How could Waterhole don't have water?
Hey, only in Trinidad.
Listen, man, Scorpion, Abid Pujad, and Big Yard are on the waterfront from a mountain with a river of fresh water. Abid Pujad, Big Yard, St. Peter's, Point Kumana. How could they not have water, but you find water to run the 1% water park? How is this not insane? How is this not insane? How the people not telling them? We hearing all their threats. We reading all their fines. All those fines, all those traffic fines are insane. $10,000 for tint, $5,000 for not having a sticker.
That is madness.
You're trying to destroy people.
That's the mission.
You are enslaving people.
That is the mission.
The Progressive Empowerment Party is going to spend the first 6 months to a year in office just abolishing all this bullshit Colm Imbert and Farris do. Get it out. Colm Imbert and Farris have been two pusful boils on the backside of this country. And you need to lance it and let it drain. To take the analogy to its full conclusion. Keep Christopher Mugabe Sabgaroli. When he looks into that camera, you can see lights on but nobody home. The man is all hat and no cowboy. He has no idea what he is doing.
That's true.
And I want an opportunity to question him. Because damn it, you are my Prime Minister. And for as long as you sitting in the office of my Prime Minister, you will answer to me. You will account to me.
That is what we need to do.
The opposition leader is drawing a salary not to stunt politically. That's not the purpose of the opposition. To stunt politically. The reality of this country is it is mismanaged by a government that has no clue.
Correct.
Stuart Young is the Minister of what? Communication. and the Minister of National Security.
How much portfolio you holding?
Forget about, but focus on these two. Because national security and communication supposed to be addressing the public right now and calming their fears. There are a lot of rumors all over social media about the Americans and when they come in. There's a lot of rumor about Russian bombers and Iranian warships. The Minister of National Security is supposed to be somebody that you could trust. That's supposed to give you fact.
Factual information, yes.
He also has the dual portfolio of Minister of Communications, so he's doubly responsible. And he's not doing his job. So that means he's drawing a salary under false pretenses. That means Keith Rowley has a responsibility to fire Stuart Young. But Keith Rowley's not doing his job.
Is anyone in the 41 seats doing their job?
So the people of Trinidad and Tobago have to stop talking race politics. Because being black under the PNM don't help you.
True.
Being Indian under the UNC don't help you.
Exactly.
The truth of the matter is Morva, Beetham, Lavantel and Sealots existed in this country and continues to exist. And you could listen to all the excuses they're making and not one solution. Not one solution. And don't tell me about illegal immigrants. Close the blasted borders and let all immigrants come through the airport and the seaport.
Yeah.
Close the borders. Stop making excuses. This is a problem because that is a problem. Circular reasoning. Wrong side logic. We need to get back to a place where when somebody speaks, they must be able to account for the job that they have. Stop making excuses and lying to the people.
True.
So you're telling them it's small islanders in Beetham. Either put them out or regularize them.
That is it. That is it right there.
One of those two.
Right there.
One of those two.
Simple solution.
Stop giving me excuses.
Straightforward business.
Put them out or regularize them.
That's
And if you
right.
regularize them, put the nation to work.
That is
At
it.
the end of the day, that is your responsibility as government. The welfare of all of the citizens.
Say it one more time,
You
please.
say, tell me.
Please.
They want to hate it. They want to hate it in your conventional accent.
Oh God, nah, but it's real. Trinidad and Tobago, this is very real, man. It's critical information you haven't presented to you here. And like I said, if anything that you would like to know further, come down to the head office on 19 Stanmore Avenue, 12 noon on a Saturday, or it's for the South Heads, you have 137 Manhambury Road, St. Madeline. Boy, I didn't bite the tongue this time around. So certainly Southside, again, Trinidad, we're opening offices all around the country, here in Trinidad and in Tobago.
And we want to telegraph to the contract mafia, we're coming after you.
Yeah.
We want back our money. This is not a horse of the same color.
Yeah.
This is a political vehicle that is coming to government to change the way government has been done. And when we tell you that we are going to investigate and prosecute all wrongdoers, prime ministers better have their assets covered. They better be able to account for any misbehavior in public office.
Listen loud and clear. Listen loud and clear.
The days of using public office to feather your nest, you and your friends and financiers, that done.
Well, you see, that is what we
I am
needed
going to
from day
request
one,
of
brother.
Mercedes-Benz, BMW and Porsche, their client list. In England, they will stop you in your car and ask you to account for how you own this. You know?
Don't worry, Trinidad.
There is laws that gives the state the right to question how you arrive at your wealth. And people will ask you if that is capitalist. It is. It removes the criminality from capitalism. Brother, if you are Bill Gates and you invent Windows and you're a trillionaire, like yourself. But if you're a coke dealer and you're a billionaire, we have a jumpsuit for you. And a place for you to sleep tonight. And it is time that the country understood that we need to account for every single dollar. That's the government's job. That is the Minister of Finance job. Account for everything. All of the assets of the country. That when I came into office, the country was worth in cash and assets 2.7 trillion.
And you said something earlier where the assets of the country is not any governments, it's the people's.
That's right.
This is the people's. Caroni was the people's. Petrotrin, the people's. The train that we had almost 100 years ago was the people's. Right? Every major industry that we don't have today, in our present time, right now,
America's presence in the Caribbean now is ordained by God. I want Trinidad to hear that. Because we are facing a country of so much criminality at the top that they were going to fight to hold on to it. And we were always going to need help and support from outside to keep them from, I'm telling you plain.
No, you're absolutely correct.
I'm telling you plain. It is almost as if the script now is being written. And who the gods would destroy, they first make mad. Rowley, vex, he don't have hair on his head to pull out this morning. Because everything he says is wrong. And he's exposed as a fool. And like these script readers who the PNM Communications and the UNC Communications team sent to attack me, Rowley's a script reader. The real people who run the country tells Rowley what he have to say. And everything that he and they have said have been proven wrong. And that Dragonfield gas deal, God is my witness this morning, would have been the nail in the coffin of this country. We would have been working in cahoots with an illegitimate dictator to loot a country. That's what that deal was. That's why it had to be secret. Sandals was a political looting of Trinidad and Tobago. But like Chalana Birchwood said, Sandals is not just in Trinidad and Tobago. And you can rape the environment as a Sandals and the rest of your hotels do well. The people who want to come to your hotels, when they start to say, not me and Sandals, them not for the environment, Sandals was going to bust. Sandals realized they have nothing in this Tobago deal for them that could have saved them from the pushback they was getting in the world. Sandals say, you know what? Keep all your Tobago. Because the deal...
The risk was too high for them.
No, but the deal was corrupt at the conception stage.
Right.
The political directorate went into this deal to use Sandals to thief money. That's what it was.
That is what the game was.
That's what it was. To use Sandals.
million
To
From the start.
back.
They was using the Sandals brand to thief money. And Sandals was only still here because they had announced it. So they had to find a way to defend it. Nobody want to fail. You announce that you're opening this massive thing in Tobago and you fail at that. They had to keep that as part of their legacy now and defend and explain that to their shareholders. They have to go back and explain that. It is not like, it is not, if Sandals is engaged in corruption in Trinidad, the owners of Sandals, they could get prosecuted outside of Trinidad. That's how Guterres and Hillman and them with the airport thing get charged. They ain't get charged in Trinidad, they get charged in Florida. Where they waiting on Ish?
Where they waiting on Ish? Yes.
No Ish bell make up.
But it's true.
They waiting on Ish and
It
Steve.
is true. They are waiting on Ish and Steve. Right?
For money laundering.
Yes. Yes. But that is why all what went on with Section 34 and all the bacchanal that went on here in Trinidad, that all of that was geared towards that, them being extradited.
When you expose that, people in positions in this country that didn't think would I get exposed, going to get exposed to the bright light of day. And we need a healing in Trinidad and Tobago. That's what we need, a healing. But you're not going to get that until you face what you're sick with. And we're sick with a kind of nasty, greed-driven corruption that has poisoned and ruined everything good about this country.
True.
If
Very,
we
very,
cannot
very,
account
very
still
true.
for the money that our pitch lake makes, it going into some politician bank account, either here or outside. Somebody,
Up to this day,
somebody,
nobody can talk about that pitch league.
somebody getting paid for our pitch league.
Nobody can give you factual information as to what is the affairs with that pitch league.
I have exposed the failure of this country to operate itself through the Kiss Baking Company illegal vending. Because we know for a fact that the municipal corporations have admitted that Kiss Baking Company has no right, no permission, no lease, no license to vend at the side of the road, that they are operating illegally, and neither the municipal police or the National Police Service doing anything about it,
Right.
but will go and pick up other small vendors and charge them.
Yeah.
A woman is on $10,000 bail for selling bus tickets and sweetie next to where Kiss to sell bread in Shawanas. It is an insanity of epic proportions that this country could be this broken and this corrupt, and we continue to accept it. And we have one shot, and that shot is the Progressive Empowerment Party. The Progressive Empowerment Party will bring justice to this country for the first time in its history. Since the Queen left, we've not known real governance that has secured the well-being of all the citizens. What we've had is rape and plunder by the PNM and everything that it spawned, including the NAR and the UNC that came out of the NAR. All of that is one political organization that they con people and fool them, divide them by race. How the British separated India and Pakistan by religion, how they separated Rwanda by Hutus and Tutsis. They go into your country, find a way to divide and conquer, and that is what took place in Trinidad and Tobago.
And we just followed
And
that
Eric
doctrine for the last 56
followed
years.
it. Eric Williams took advantage of it. Eric Williams made it bigger. Eric Williams said, let's divide. Let's call them a recalcitrant minority. Let's make it a public fight, a political spat where Indians and Africans believe that victory at the polls for a party that looks like you somehow could benefit you or the country. And it never has. For 56 years, we've been looted of money that if we had not been a corrupt nation, if they were properly invested or in a bank account somewhere, we would have money to run this country for the next 1,000 years. Trinidad and Tobago had money that would have made Dubai shame. When they had called us the third wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere, it was America, Canada, Trinidad. We were ahead of Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Uruguay, Paraguay, Chile. Look at the countries, massive countries, not to mention the entire Caribbean, Cuba, Jamaica. We were the third wealthiest nation in the Western world. Look,
nothing to show.
Janice,
Nothing to show.
Janice, what was done to this country is a crime.
We have nothing to show, and Janice is saying, we had two towers up in Canada. That's
For $3 trillion.
Yeah?
I want to go back a little bit to the Kiss Baking Company because, you know, I always say that the power of the people speaks volumes. And when you look at where the Kiss Baking Company vendors are, there's no toilet facilities, there's no wash basin facilities. They are in areas that, I mean, they're right across, or at the back of them are, no, at the back of them are dirty drains that are unkept and smelly and whatever. And I mean, Trinidadians should be looking at the environment to see where these guys are vending and say, well, sorry, I'm not buying your bread today. These guys have no facilities for washing their hands, but yet they're handling your bag of bread.
But Janice said worse though, when you look at the doubles people, because I mean I can't be the person picking up for Kiss, but at least that in a bag. But the doubles man who picking up the barrel with his bare hand operated his penis at some point during that whole day that he selling doubles. He operated it to pee. And if he operated in a place where they have no toilet, he pee on the side of the road. So the next person getting a doubles, getting extra flavor. And Trinidadians are so foolish that they will tell you, I don't mind that flavor. But let him be sick and you don't know. And your child get a sickness and dead. Then you want to come and talk when too late shall be the cry. We are an irresponsible nation. Janice is damn right. Because the people could have driven Kiss out of the roadside vending business.
That's right. If, they were
If the
buying
people
bread.
of Trinidad and Tobago had self-respect, decency, and were law-abiding. But we say, the man in front do it, the man behind do it. Start with the man in the mirror.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
we are not fools and jackasses to be in this studio for 3 hours on a Monday and a Wednesday. Put aside so much of your life and your time to hear fools call and say, oh, I have no chance. Like, we're stupid. We're doing this for want of a better country. This is man in the mirror business. This is stepping up and doing what is your responsibility as a citizen of this country. What Janice just said is an actual fact.
The
That
power
if
lies with the people.
If the people said to the doubles man, because I said to a doubles man on Arpita Avenue, say, wait now, you making my doubles with your bare hand?
Exactly.
He say, yeah. I don't know what under your nails. I don't know where you were scratching.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't know which dog you was patting. And then I start to think, who licensing these doubles boxes? Who going to the places where the doubles making?
Correct.
So I don't see in the night when you're sleeping, the dog ain't licking the pot outside, rat running. I'm serious. Because I've seen some of the most brother, you see me? My mother make no stupid children. As go where I could see how the food cooking, I have an idea that the food is prepared under sanitary conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trinidadians have to stop being so self-destructive, so self-delusional and foolish.
But I think even so, Trinidadians need, when they see someone preparing food, or like I call it the name of the roti place. I went to a particular roti place to buy roti, and the attendant was literally, she had no gloves on.
No, but I'm not thinking that.
And we need to have the power to say, no, I'm not back, give me back my money.
And that's what they need to
Give me
understand,
back
Janice.
my money, because
Janice,
you can't be wrapping my
that-
roti with your bare hands.
that piece of paper in your wallet and your purse that you're pulling out there is what keeps that business in business.
Correct.
And if you say, Pally, you're not getting my money if you're operating in an unsanitary manner.
Correct. Correct.
We have to have all of those conversations, and you're correct again. We need to raise our standards. We as a people,
That's right.
we have to collectively raise our standards and demand better of everybody.
Correct.
We're not
So
going
true.
anywhere as a nation, because the argument for the doubles and the argument for what we settle for as politics is the same argument. It is us abdicating our responsibility
True.
and how it hang its swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trinidad, I hope you're listening. Really, I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening. Because the key that Philip just said, we take 3 hours out of our day, put aside everything to be on the show here to dispense information to the population.
BBC, CNN, Fox News carry a story that the Surgeon General has reported that fried chicken is the #1 cause of heart disease. Fried chicken, they pin it down, they zero it down.
The fried chicken.
Trinidad is the #1 consumer of fried chicken per capita in the world.
Yeah.
Black Trinidadians have the highest counts of heart disease in the Western world. So it is you don't have to do a hop and a skip and a jump to find out.
Yeah.
Live better. KFC and Royal Castle and Church's Chicken killing you.
Yeah.
And they ask me, if you're talking about the fried chicken, talk about the sweet drink and the diabetes. Yes. Yes. 5 tablespoons of sugar in a Coca-Cola. And you're drinking and I say, if this don't kill me, something else will. That is the level we're thinking at. And then you reach by the doctor and he tell you, boy,
Yeah.
sit down. And when you get that news, you know they used to have this joke, cancer cures smoking. When you get that diagnosis,
Yeah. Just stop, just so you know.
that's it, sir. Say we see something, it looking like a growth on your lung. We gotta do a biopsy. You think you're going outside and smoke?
No.
Yeah.
That is the truth. When you get diabetes, when they tell you type 2 diabetes, you have to measure your life from here to when you lose your foot or your sight. And these are complications. Trinidad, we're not talking about these things, but we need to. Your lifestyle, and I say that, free will, free choice, do what you like. But somebody had to be telling you.
Yeah.
a proper night's sleep, and a high fiber diet. Just those two things will change your world, you know.
Correct.
Will give you energy for the gym, will give your children energy and brain awareness. All mental fog, all comes from lack of sleep and constipation. A lot of people don't know they're constipated. And all of this, our diet is madness. Our diet is madness. Instead of a national flour mills, we should have breadfruit, cassava, and blue food flour.
Yeah.
That is better for your body.
Yeah.
I went up in the green market and we met a woman who make avocado seed powder, and she telling me what this is for. And I'm
Avocado seed powder.
yeah, man. I'm learning things, and even though the Ministry of Health won't tell you, and my doctor friends just laugh at these things, I have seen people with an overnight recovery from things like dengue, boiling leaves from a pawpaw tree. And all medicine come from somewhere, not coming from Mars, Saturn, and Venus.
Right,
It come from a raw material here on Earth.
That's correct.
But they don't want you to know natural ingredients that will do the job, because they want you to spend $200 and $300 in medicine. Because it's all a business.
But that's like cannabis. Same thing. Same thing where cannabis is concerned, because the application for cannabis in the medicinal industry it's a $1 billion
Tony,
industry.
if Caroni Limited, when it was shut down, all of the land that Caroni had, you planted hardy trees. When I say hardy trees, mango, breadfruit, guava. A guava tree, you just have to ask it permission to cut it down. You ever hit a guava? You ever try to cut a guava wood? You ever get lashed with that? Good. Breadfruit, sea moss, soursop, avocado. When that growing in your yard, you don't have to water it, you don't have to talk it, you don't have to fight no animal on it. Just when it bearing, pick and eat. Caroni Limited, all of the land, just with hardy fruit trees. Forget citrus. Just those food trees, breadfruit. One breadfruit could feed a family. Breadfruit and saltfish. We want again. You understand what I'm just trying to tell you? That day, with a proper breadfruit crop in Trinidad, a breadfruit come down to $1. Breadfruit. Avocado is the best natural fats available. Yeah, and our avocados coming from where? Dominican Republic. Our avocados in Trinidad coming from Dominican Republic. And that is our nice Pollock avocado. You just know when you get a Trinidad avocado because it's big like your head and soft like butter. But imagine a plate of food costs you $5 with breadfruit and avocado and real healthy foods.
Yes.
So you don't have to spend your money on vitamins, and vitamins is for countries. Just saying to you, if your diet healthy, I was introduced to an orange on Saturday at this same green market, that it is a cross between a tangerine and an orange. And this thing is amazing. I mean, this country, just the hills behind Four Roads, just the Diego Martin hills there, you could plant and feed this nation. You could feed this nation for pennies. We going in the grocery and buying mango for $20 for one. Look at what's going on in this country.
The other thing too, Philip, is that a lot of people are cooking food with sugar. You see, soup, I was shocked to learn that people were putting sugar in soup. Soup, callaloo, and clam chowder. So you think you're drinking a nice bowl of soup, but it is loaded with sugar.
Janice?
And I can tell you for a fact, because when I take it and I go home and I test my sugar gone up.
I want to give the last 3 or 4 minutes to PEP Chairman Felicia Holder, who just joined us.
Boss lady, why? Boss lady,
Felicia, so you could give them an update of all that is going on in the party. Take your time and
Good morning, boss lady.
Good morning, serious and calm. That's how I get roped into this shoot. I just come to line minimum.
These are no line zone.
Okay. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. We are here another Monday morning, taking you up until 12 o'clock. What do we have to report today? We had our for the first time in the history of the Progressive Empowerment Party, we had a meeting happening in both the South and the North offices. We also had a very intense management meeting following that, where we planned out the rest of the year. And trust me, people, when I tell you, this is an exciting year to be involved with the Progressive Empowerment Party. Has listened to you all on the way up, and listen, the quality of callers that this show get. I mean, apart from the paid sycophants, the ones who phone card running out, the quality of callers that we getting though, I have to say they give me hope for this country. And it's callers like that I am happy to say are coming on board the Progressive Empowerment Party. We met one on Saturday, gosh, I forget his name. Was it Mark or Wayne? One of the two. I know two of them completely off, Mark or Wayne. But he came
Pep Market too, I don't forget that.
Yes, he came on Saturday to say that he came specifically because he heard and listened to this morning show. So that means we touching the people. Pep Market, I heard you giving it a little plug this morning, but I want to plug it as well. Business owners, entrepreneurs, people who sole traders, anybody who's looking for a little part-time employment, this might even be your
banana bread makers.
The banana bread makers. And my mommy makes a good bread, you know.
Tell her come and take a table.
Take a table in this Pep Market.
Pep members are allowed to take part as well?
Absolutely, it's for them.
Good, because I want a table for my jewelry.
Janice, it is for Pep members and the general public.
Exactly.
That is for Pep members who need a little side income.
Pep members with their membership card get a special price.
Rate, a special rate.
So now is the time to become a member. We have free membership.
Membership has its advantages.
Membership has its benefits, its advantages. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity. This Saturday we're going to meet some of the vendors who might be interested in joining this. If you are interested, you can call me directly, 769-4590.
I hear Kamla give out your number too.
Kamla give out her number too. Well, take mine. 769-4590. If you want to be a part of that market, I don't need the good morning memes. I mean, but message me if you want to be a part of this very interesting and very lucrative business opportunity that is being
What is the date of the opening of the North Office, the address?
We are opening now on the heels of the massively successful launch in South on the 19th of January. We are opening our North Regional Office on March 23rd at 5 p.m. Now this office is located in Barataria, number 24, 10th Avenue, Barataria. You don't want to miss that. The rally in South was so sweet, we had to do it another time, and 4 weeks after that we're doing the East, yeah?
Tumpuna Road.
Tumpuna Road. So March 23rd, after Carnival, so we're giving you all some time to relax, gear down for Carnival, but we're picking up the pace again come March for the opening of our North Regional Hub office.
Yeah?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day?
Oh yeah, Valentine's Day. Our women's arm people. Tony, is that you, baby? Valentine's Day. The women's arm is they are hosting a fundraiser where you can purchase roses for that special persons in your life. I know there's a different society. We have more than one.
Wall encouraging. Janice.
Mothers and sisters and aunts.
Oh.
Yes. If you want to
buy multiples of boyfriends and girlfriends.
I told all the Pep men that they need to buy roses for all the Pep ladies. Listen. You all need to treat the ladies nice. But
I have some on order.
If you want to be a part of it, I don't have Keisha's number.
We had read it out
but I'm going
earlier.
to call out my number again, 769-4590. So contact
Give
me.
them Tony number. Give them Tony number for the women who want roses.
688-4012. That's Tony number.
Yeah.
Philip 680.
682-2110.
682-2110.
I'm glad, yeah. Sign out, let me sign out.
But thank you. And again, if you want to buy your roses, you want to be a part of the Pep Market, call me 769-4590. Thank you.
That was Felicia Holder, chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party. As usual, I was joined in studio by Deputy Political Leader Tony Defoe and PRO Janice Lemon-Criqui. The Progressive Empowerment Party invites all of Trinidad and Tobago to be part of the change that is sweeping across this land. Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock, we will be showing at our highlights of our San Fernando launch and our second anniversary rally. And as Felicia mentioned, you could take part in the Pep Market if you're a business owner or a sole trader. Come and talk to us because that is coming. And so until you hear from us on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, same station, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.